Good afternoon, evening, morning. Welcome to everyone. We are here today for our second Commander's Table podcast. Once again, we are joined by Luxta, Horse, and Apocalypse. We have a new person in voice chat, though. We are calling her the Chat Engagement Coordinator. We fully recognize that in the last podcast, we did not pay close enough attention to the chat. Many of you had some outstanding ideas and suggestions also. As such, Solar is here to monitor chat and bring those ideas and suggestions back to the voice chat discussion. So welcome everyone. That said, we're going to give Solar just 30 seconds or so to introduce herself and tell us about her Rise of Kingdoms journey. So over to you, Solar.
So, I'm Solar. I've played this game for about 6 years now after a short break. I am now in 2293, and I'm just trying to get better. So I'm just here to help out how I can.
All right. Chat, let me know if you're able to hear them. Solar is quiet. Can you turn up your mic? I've got you jacked up.
Yeah, let me see what I can...
Horse, welcome. Good to have you here once again. I know it's later in the evening for you in Europe. Apple, bright and early in the morning for you, and Luxta, I think you're stateside, so you're late afternoon like me, right?
That is correct.
Right,
I hope everybody ready for some boom time, baby. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, smash that like button before I start saying bad words.
this is
You
not
can already see my face.
Apple's the boom boom guy, right? But this is not the boom boom channel. Lambo does not bring the same energy. I'm too old for that crap.
Yeah, so get your stuff together and smash that like button. Thank you. I got you, Lamb. Leave me that part.
So we've got some topics to discuss today. A lot of these I feel are common sense topics. Our big topic I think for today is to make grinding great again. I think we have seen some very, very good changes to this game over time. A lot of the changes that are implemented, though, are specific to, high power, high spending players. We need to allow the free to play, in my opinion. Lambo's on his soapbox. We need to allow the free to play and the low to mid spenders to be able to grind like they used to be able to, so that they can participate in some of these events and be factors in a KVK when you're in a kingdom with less than 2 full alliances, right? So we'll get into that in this stage. We have some discussion topics at the end, including kingdom mergers that were announced by Lilith, to discuss some Strife event issues, and the recent disbanding of 1960 and 1846, and the state of the game as we see it after those kingdoms have announced that they will go their separate ways. But first topic to get into, profile page improvement. Oh, sorry, before we do that, I want to say thank you to Mr. Electro King for the new emojis in the chat. Thank you for the new overlay as well. It's looking sexy, my friend. All right, profile page improvement, migration history. Something that I think would be nice. Many accounts change owners. Many accounts migrate from kingdom to kingdom to kingdom. It's very hard for recruiters to know the history of an account when evaluating applications to migrate to their kingdom. Something that I feel would fix this is within the account profile page itself, be able to track an account's migration if there was some sort of history there. What do you guys think? I'll start with George.
I believe it's a no-brainer. Until today, we all track it by, let's say, actually knowing the people. Like when you play the game for so long, you know them, and you even learn like where people went and what they've done. But when the game grows so much, and there's like 3,800 kingdoms now,
Yep.
it is impossible to track them all in our brains. At some point, it becomes, foggy. And of course, some accounts change names and pictures, which becomes even harder to track.
Apple?
Yeah, I think as someone that does like a kingdom spotlight and stuff like that, I rely on on these things like as big part of my stream. I personally like to look at profiles and like to look at their kills and the history of their account. If I can see, the history of where this account has been, it's actually going to be also a great conversation starter because, you could be surprised that some of the amazing players we call now, amazing, maybe they were part of the most amazing kingdoms that we didn't even, when we started playing the games, we don't know. Maybe there is a lot of great accounts that we don't actually recognize that these were this, you know what I mean? I think having that history on the account would be something very good. And you can reflect, you can say, I've been this. It's just a storyteller about that account, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, it's an up one.
Locksta, you guys just got a big migration. Is that something you would want to see in the future?
Yeah, so I think the points you guys have brought up are like straightforward. I think the positives definitely outweigh like the negatives. There's like one situation that is my concern where, let's say if there was someone that took a break from the game and gave the account to a friend and they migrate like a bunch of times and stuff, like the actual history of the migration might not be super accurate. So that's like the only downside is like, let's say if that friend inherited an account and started playing the account and then they're like, hey, I'm from 1960. And then you look, hey, the account was in 1960 at one point. So how do you verify? Like there's still like, I would say it's such a minor issue though, because you can talk with the player. You potentially like what Horse said is you might know the players that you're interviewing as well. So and just to get an idea of where the account has been, at what levels it has played at, you can do the rest of the detective work and maybe iron out those anyways, as you would with at least for our interview process as well. So I think it's a huge benefit. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would allow migration officers also to reach out to those prior kingdoms and get a reference on those players. Do they chase kill points? Do they follow objectives? Are they a whiny little bitch, right?
Yeah, actually, I think that's a good point. That far outweighs like any kind of negative that I can think of. So yeah, I'm 100%.
Okay. I mean, and Solar, we'll get to you in a second. I mean, I know from our perspective, we do voice interviews. It's like a job interview. We do voice interviews for any players wanting to come to 1029. And part of a job interview is they do background checks. And adding this to a player's account where it shows the migration history of an individual would allow us to see, okay, are they loyal to kingdoms? Are they hopping kingdoms, chasing kill points for personal accolades? Or are they coming here to be here for 2, 3, or more KVKs. Did Solar, did chat have anything related to this?
Nothing useful, just, the normal jargon.
Appo's looking for girls' profile pictures. That's why he likes cars so much. Okay.
Like, what did I do
Looking at
here?
this-
I'm sitting here like a good person, quiet, waiting my turn.
Before we move on, I think the problem of having to see someone's history or this kind of tracking stuff, it becomes to the core problem of how much impact one person has on a kingdom. It's like a company, like when you recruit the wrong person, they impact the matchmaking or the field so much that you have to recruit well. If the impact was slightly less, let's say, maybe even 20-30%, on the field or on the outcome of the KVK, it wouldn't matter so much, right? You would give a chance to somebody who is, let's say, half proven or haven't played at such a big level. But at the moment, having one person have such a big influence on a KVK, it makes it like hard not to have those tracking issues.
Yeah, and not just from a participation standpoint in KVK, but recruiting one toxic individual to a very close-knit or tight kingdom with players who treat each other like brothers and sisters, that just kills morale. Nobody wants to get on voice then. Nobody wants to participate in events then. One player with a negative attitude can really kill the vibe in a kingdom. So I always like to reach out and get references myself. I know Mad Mania does the same.
That is very true. We've had that experience on firsthand. Yes.
Yeah, I think everyone's been in a kingdom with that one player that nobody wants to deal with. Okay, so I think we're all in agreement here. Thank you for the subscription, Exterminix. Appreciate you. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys, like Appa was saying earlier. What's going on, Car? Good to see you. Good to see you all in chat. Quality of life improvements. We'll move on to this topic. And I know everybody's going to tell me whale problems, right? And this may be the only one that I speak on, or I may be the only one actually speaking on this today, but we all know that there are rewards given on a daily basis when you complete your research. You know, when you have every city hall at level 25, when you have all your research done, you automatically get those rewards. Why is it that I specifically, right, being selfish here, I do not get the rewards for Tomes of Knowledge when every single commander I have is at level 60? I can't use Tomes of Knowledge on a daily basis, just like I can't do research, just like I cannot upgrade buildings. If I'm getting research and I'm getting buildings on a daily basis, I should get this as well. I know. Whale problems. There's a new emoji in chat specifically for this. Does this make sense to you guys? Or is it just Lambo ranting?
Does it make sense? Yes.
100% it makes sense.
I'm personally a bit away from it, but it definitely makes sense. I mean,
Are you telling me every single... Oh.
Yeah, Lambo's that guy.
Ah.
yeah.
I'm not thinking, bro.
I think if everything else like falls within the same kind of logic, like why not? Makes sense.
I'm ranting a little bit, Bubba, because I brought this up before. Yes. But, I mean, I did Guardians twice a day for 3 years to get my commanders all maxed. I'm at a point now where as soon as a commander comes out, I have enough Tomes of Knowledge to expertise or to bring him to level 60 right away. And yeah, it's only 5,000, 3,000, it's not a huge amount, but I should get this on a daily basis. So should any other players get every commander that they have unlocked at level 60 also. Lambo is the only account. No, there were others. There were others, Alloys. All right, so I think this is mainly my topic here. We'll move on to the next one. I did not have this on the agenda, guys, and I apologize for blindsiding you all with this. But there are 125 commanders in this game now. And I don't know about you, but if I want to find somebody in the Alliance, right, I can go here and I can start typing their name. And it brings up anyone with those names. Anyone that with the start of those names, right? Why is it if I go to the commander page, I don't have the same search feature? If I want to send out a march and I'm looking for commanders, sure, I can go here. We can do legendary, we can do infantry, but I'm still having to look through, you know, what is that? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 20 commanders, right? If we had a search feature and I could just type in the letter G and it would pop up Guan Yu, Gorgo. Time to increase the skill level to level 70. I would not be opposed to that car.
What I've also seen in regards to this topic in other mobile games is like you could basically like customize tabs. Like you have your own selection. So like let's say if I wanted to make like, oh, these are my main marches, and I can literally just throw those commanders specifically in there. So I think like search function for sure should be there because we're getting to a point where there's too many commanders to like scroll through. But I'd also like to see a lot more customization on maybe you can make your own groupings of commanders or like sort of because we already have favorites tab, right? But the thing is they get all just like smashed up against each other. But what if I can make a specific tab saying infantry, and then I can like just put in like the ones I want to mess with and access quick, or maybe I'm like, oh, I want to like city garrison, or like specific like inf rally, like maybe just things like ways that you can pull up like different categories and stuff like that, I guess.
Okay, so the ability to customize groups of commanders for your specific display.
What I've noticed is often we use the same commanders for specific tasks. So why not just rank them by the amount of times we took out the commander? I know when there's a new commander joining the lineup, it's gonna be a bit messy, but it eventually fixes itself.
Well, my farming commanders
Maybe
would all be at the top.
Oh yeah, true. I don't farm, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's not an issue that I predicted, so that's how much I don't farm.
I don't know. Just the other day I was going through here and I wanted to send out a different pairing for I forget exactly what I was doing. And I spent like 20 minutes going up and down looking for commander. About 20 minutes is an exaggeration, but like 2 minutes. You know, in the heat of battle, if you're looking for a specific commander, it'd be nice just to type in H, and any commander starting with H pops up. Characters.
How would you solve the language problem there? Because
Yeah, okay.
May I say something? I can't spell 3/4 of the commander's name.
That's fair.
I got you, chat. Sorry, so I got you, chat. I can't spell the name of the commanders, bro. No, don't write down the notes. Yo, man, I'm kidding, bro. This is fucked up funny.
I mean,
How do they solve for the language issue when you're searching for players here?
I think the filter is not good enough. Like, I'm not even lying. I don't even use that, guys. So it can be great. You know what I mean? The existing filter is not good enough.
Yes,
the tools we have
it's
is
too clicks.
even this one is broken because I still can write C, but someone write a C in a different thing. I can't find them.
Yeah, but I type in L here. It's bringing up TSN Lambo. It's bringing up Apocalypse because there's an L in your name.
Oh, I didn't notice that part. You can search. Actually, that's okay. That's better. Okay, that's good. Okay,
So that at
you
least
can use secondary. Okay.
helps me narrow. This is what I do for Kingdom Chess, right? Right, R. You know, not all players who start with R, but anyone who has an R in their name is going to pop up. Is it case sensitive?
so
It is.
on the other languages topic, I have struggled since we have a lot of international
Hey,
players
see, that's
in
the other problem, yeah.
77. I noticed like I just can't type, for example, Chinese letters. I just can't search for them if they don't have any English letters, so to say. Latin alphabet. So it's a trade-off, but it's still good because many people do have the letters. Maybe we can do by abbreviation, like Liu Chase LC. We can search for LC.
That's actually pretty smart because I know like even when you send Kingdom Mail and stuff now, they do like, you know how they do like descriptions of different verbiage or like different words and stuff or terms. Like they could basically take that kind of thing like in like you said, if you just type LC or ZL. So I think those are pretty universal. I'm not sure about like on the Asia servers and stuff like that too much due to my experience, but I think I actually like that a lot.
Comment that patch being just made that might solve a little bit of this issue is to hide unused commanders.
Hide.
That's true. Like a
How do you hide unused commanders?
But like as a solution to the problem, not as something we can do now.
Oh, okay.
Like reverse favorite. Remove from my screen.
yeah.
I mean, something else that would help a ton is if they actually, in the Commander tab, made it where it was recent releases that was organized rather than just this random organization that they do.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it by rarity or level or star level or power. Generally,
And it's even random from there. So, like, it'll change. It's not in, like, alphabetical order or anything. It's just randomly put there.
Yeah, you change it. I change equipment on ZL, and he goes down here somewhere. I think we got some good things. Adding a search, adding the ability to customize groupings of your own commanders. 'Cause yeah, I mean, I have favorites in here. Of course, I've got favorites in here, right? But those favorites, you know, they extend. You know, there's like 8 or 10 of them.
Yep. I mean, the main issue about the filtering currently is that you have to click 2 or 3 clicks before you get a result, or proper results that you're looking for, which in a modern stage of things, 1 click is a lot. So I like the idea of, I think Docsta said it, the custom tabs you can have on the side where you expand the commander lines, where you make it 3 columns. You can have infantry, archers, and the base 4 types. At least it filters by those. So kind of pre-made custom tabs can be like also a solution for quick ones.
So the language problem, was that more in reference to like QSH is actually pronounced what? Chi Shi Huan? Not Quinn?
Qin Shi Huang.
Qin Shi Huang.
Chi Shi Huang?
Qin Shi Huang.
Jin Shi Huang? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thank you.
A goose, you know, I'm pronouncing it wrong, so you put me in your next video.
She's gonna
Oh.
kill you. She's absolutely gonna destroy you.
Okay, I was gonna say something else, but I won't. I know she's Cortex's private teacher.
Yes, that's true. Let it go now.
So I think
Cortex
adding the ability to customize groups is possibly our favorite option here.
And then to even expand that a little bit further, King Bob made the comment, why don't we just have it set to presets already?
Actually, this is somewhat related. I wish there was a better preset like option, like instead of, you know, because you can hop into what is it, the campaign mode? I don't know why I'm blanking on, expedition, and you know, you can set like custom troop counts, like you can max it out to like 750k, but I wish there was like a better menu to go through and actually like for the presets. Like this could be something like maybe there's like a separate menu for presets and you can see them as well. That might kind of solve a lot of these issues too, because then you're already seeing the commanders you're wanting to interact with anyways. It's kind of like combining that. So it's like frustrating if I like have to go through and change all these different presets and stuff. And I think the menu, you can copy and paste things over and stuff like that, but I'd like to see that kind of expanded as well.
Maybe we can you can discuss that further, because I don't quite understand.
So it's when you use the expedition to have higher trip counts, so
Right.
maybe you pop expansions, you have issues.
Right?
Yeah, basically, one thing, like, for example, here's an example of why this is a little bit annoying, is, so you can do this as a workaround. This is, like, obviously, I don't think it was technically intended. But if you were out, like, on the map itself, and let's say you're in, like, a HA, right? Or if you're in a KVK story that has, like, commander skills and stuff you can attach, you go and save these max troop cap in here, and you legit like don't have like it will unequip the skills, right? Because they can't equip in here. So there's like some like weird workarounds, and like I see them as like slight roadblocks that if they just made the like I guess for the lack of a better word, basically just in the actual map itself without any like huge restrictions made that a lot easier to control what your marches are and your presets essentially. Hopefully that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, so keep the preset totals that you set in the expedition mode or wherever, so that as you level up your troop capacity in Heroic Anthem or whatever KVK you're in, you don't have to keep resaving it as a preset with those HA skills, Bastion quests, whatever they are.
That is one, yeah, that's one example. The other example actually you have on your screen. So you have 5 queues already out.
Yep.
Or 5 marches. You can't interact or like you can go into your inventory or your commander screen and re-equip equipment and stuff like that.
Right.
But I can't really mess with my marches in this state. So I find that as like a weird roadblock too. So like if you're able to just you're zoomed out of your city, you're on your map, if you could just click and go into like a like preset menu or like march menu, something like that, and then you can actually have a little bit more customized options, as well as like not have to jump through hoops to try to set your capacity. Like you could pop like a 50% for like an arc match, and then you can set everything up and you're good. But yeah, it's like there's just like small roadblocks that I see that make it really annoying with interacting with that, like your presets.
Right, so like I'm sending 5 marches up to this keep or to a battle that's 100 kilometers away. I got a long march. I should have the ability to screw with my other presets while those troops are marching.
Yep.
Without going into expedition mode and still being able to maintain oversight on the battlefield and help my team place markers, coordinate fighting, etc.
Yeah, it's also like if you think of like a straightforward flow, like it's kind of like I call it a roadblock. It's kind of like you hit this wall and you're like, oh, I have to do something kind of janky or not super intended maybe, when it breaks the flow of the game, if that makes sense.
Nope, I get it. I will wordsmith this and I'll contact you. I might separate it out from commander searching into a separate category.
Yep, for sure. Sorry for the the side route there.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. All right. Anything else on this topic? Anything from chat, Solar?
No.
I know Carr was in Ihara's basement getting kinky, but that's a topic for another day. All right, so George, this is one you brought up, and I'll be honest, I do not use my phone at all when I'm fighting. So I'm going to rely on you here.
Yep.
Difference
I
in
do
it.
use
Good.
both. Yep. Sorry. So they have made some improvements on the return, but this is a general topic because many people do not use PCs, have never logged on PC today, and the difference between march docking or selecting marches is just way too different. Just the advantage is too big to micromanage. And this was brought to me by an audience member actually, who has never used PC until today.
Okay, so how do they change that? What?
So the question is, what are the biggest advantages a PC gamer has?
Okay.
In my opinion, of course, a bit biased because our types of KVKs are different. So it's the micromanaging. So when you go and play in a ball, being able to zoom in or select a few marches, go back and go forward with the others, this is impossible to do with your fingers. Even when I play on mobile or iPad, I always have a pen, which allows you to have a better control grasp of your marches, but still selecting two, it's impossible. So this is the one biggest advantage I see, beyond the kind of key tying on the computer. Being able to easily select two marches and bring them back. It can just be like 2 custom keys. It doesn't have to be 5 or more like on PC.
Do they have? I can't imagine they do. I mean, you can't do things like you don't have shortcuts on the phone, right?
Nope.
Like hotkey settings.
Now you have the shortcut for return. You do have a shortcut for return. Yep, you have these.
So you have the hotkey settings. But like if I have marches out in the field, like right now, I can drag a box, hold I think it's the Alt button.
Oh yeah, no.
And for whatever reason, it's not letting me do it now. My hotkeys must be all screwed up. You can drag a box around 3 specific marches and set them to control group 1 or control group 2.
Guys, may I say something?
No.
Okay. So the reality is, once the game allowed PC players to play with, tablet or phone players, that that console crossing or cross console is really in so many ways a disadvantage for phone players and tablet players. It's just the reality. It's just simple. You can't compare it. You know what I mean? It's gonna always be that way. That's how I see it. It's my 10 cents worth on this part. Like, I don't understand how they have concern, but
Let's be fair, right? If you're playing Ark of Osiris, the best Ark carriers are those playing on a tablet. Because when you want to pick up the Ark, you click a button in the top left. And when you want to select the march, you're clicking a button on the other side. Right? So I know
I hear you.
John Wick Gaming would always carry the Ark, and he always used his iPad. And with one hand, he would click that top left button. And with another hand on the right side, he would click the march he wants to pick it up. So there are some advantages as well playing on tablet that PC users don't get, because they've got, I can't click here and then click over here as quickly as someone who's using 2 hands on tablet could.
But I'm talking about open field. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you think it's fair? Open field? Like, I'll tell you why. I'm gonna be very honest. My wife plays on iPad and phone. You know what I mean? When she used to play on the iPad, I'm not gonna lie to you, they say iPad is great and it's fantastic, and it's true. For majority of people, iPad is very nice to play the game. But once you jump on the PC and you realize, also the hotkeys and stuff like that, there is advantage to it. But I'm just saying, iPad, as much there is advantage for PC, I think iPad players have a bit of advantage as well in the same time. When I think about it now I'm thinking about the whole picture. Actually, but the phone players, I think they are a huge disadvantage. I don't want to talk about tablet because I'm thinking about it. Tablet is big. They can use 2 hands, exactly like PC. I'm just being a reasonable person. But when it comes to phone, brother, I suck so bad at playing on my phone. Like, not so bad, like, bro, I'm talking 10% reports when I play on my phone. This is how bad it is. Some people can't afford the iPad, and there is, I don't know, but there is some things in kind of improvement that has to be where the game it is right now. Imagine playing the game on a tablet, bro. You know what I mean? Sorry, on a phone. You know what I mean?
I refuse to play it on a phone just because.
But you think about it. I want to think about it. It's just horror. What about everybody here? Anybody here on the podcast play on the phone?
I have before. I actually have a solution though that to a lot of this problem. Maybe. I don't know if you guys.
Yep.
Go for it.
So
Go ahead.
This is something that I actually even had a note before the podcast on this topic is, and I'm a huge proponent of custom UI. So what if there was a battle UI where you could, for example, because you know how like on the side, like if you're trying to drag from the right hand side, it's like small. I have fat fingers. It like on the phone, especially, it's a smaller screen. It's very hard to control, like you said, Apo.
Exactly.
What if you were able to add custom hotkey buttons that would allow you to select your, like for example, you could basically redesign, do scaling on like how big you want buttons to be, where buttons are, what buttons you don't want in your combat mode, and essentially you could do like hotkeys, kind of like on Lambda screen. You can see there's already by default like F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. what if you could technically put one button to select all troops and then a second button to select maybe your cabs if they're like running in or something, right? Or basically these hotkey buttons you can do as like, you can customize specifically what actions you assign to them. And it could be multiple select, it could be only individual select. And then also, because I know for me, like, yeah, if I'm holding the phone sideways, right, and I have to click, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't play too much on the phone, but I do every once in a while, you have to click on the right-hand side of the screen for a troop return. What if I want that right next to my right hand, since I'm right-handed as well? So like you can customize the size of the button too, maybe do something like that, because I kind of see that also as like if you could redesign your UI and customize that, then it's kind of like an accessibility mode for people that like can't play on a small device. I think that would alleviate a lot of issues and maybe bring up phone play a lot closer to PC.
I like that.
I love
Okay,
it.
so I just want to say a small thing.
Yep.
May I say?
Yep.
Thank you. Jolie. That's enough. Sorry. I just want to say something serious now. Apologies.
Yes.
Does anybody have like an iPad and played the game recently after the update? Anybody on the podcast?
I have Android tablets. I don't have an iPad.
Okay, the reason I said iPad is because I wasn't sure. The only thing Queen have is iPad. And I remember 2 days ago, I was doing something on her iPad. And I've noticed something, I don't know, because that's why I'm asking if someone just plays always the time. Great, Kark always plays on iPad. I've noticed that when I zoomed out, I was able to zoom slightly better than what I used to. The icons were smaller. I am certain the icons were smaller. After the update, they made the icons smaller. So when I zoomed out, it looked a little, I can see a lot more and the things were a lot smaller. Queen, do you agree? Oh, Queen just said, I think you're right. So maybe is anybody else notice that? Because I noticed that, but I didn't notice on the PC. Everything on the PC exactly the same. So yeah. That's one thing I noticed. It's slightly smaller on the iPad.
So, but Lux's suggestion, and I think George, I think you said you like that as well, right?
100%, yeah. So
Okay.
there are things you can do that get 80% of the result. Like a custom UI, just making sure people can adapt to their finger size, so to say, as well as like 1 or 2 custom keys. Let's say it's really hard to do it as good as PC. If you have 1 or 2 custom keys, people can get there like 80% and 90%. And that's enough, right? They can balance the field a lot.
So overall, add a battle user interface on the phones with customizable hotkey buttons that would allow for the scaling of the size of those buttons so that a user could scale those buttons to the size of their phone to what they're comfortable with. And those customizable hotkeys, you would be able to configure them where they display on your phone. You would be able to configure them exactly what you want them used for. Did I capture that correctly?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think one other thing or specific thing that personally that I'd love as well is like you can see like your buff bar at the top. I'd love to be able to like literally make like a quarter, like the top corner of my screen, just the hospital icon. like something like that, especially because then I know it like displays, but also being able to adjust the buff bar and general UI would be also very good, so you can customize what shows.
So increase the size of the hospital icon for better visibility on phones.
It's a specific, but I mean maybe if that was part of the battle UI, like you go into battle UI and in like let's say your editor for battle UI, like when you go and try to set it up, you can decide the layout of what you see. And so that might be an option to, as well as like the current UI for phones and like all the icons. Maybe there could be a toggle for displaying those, for scaling those. And so like I think a good example is in like World of Warcraft. They have like add-ons, and like you could see like a lot of buff bars. You can change like the sizing. You can have everything in the center of your screen, so you're not looking up at the top right. Things like that. So I think having all that combined into it would be good.
It sounds like I might be playing on phones in the future. Good lord.
Yeah.
I mean,
Blood Crow. Okay, go ahead.
hospital
Yeah,
thingy.
go ahead.
Like when you're on phone and it starts getting like slightly reddish, like before full red, you try to click 2 or 3 times, but since you, let's say, it takes 2 or 3 times clicking on the button to figure out exactly where it is because you have zoomed out and everything, it goes red and then you get deads because you were trying to not get deads.
Yeah. 100%.
So if you have that battle UI, right, you could, in theory, then assign one of those hotkeys to hospital.
Yeah, like having a multifunction hotkey button like that, customizable hotkey button too, could be like 1 click takes you all the way to your city and you can heal, right? Like it pops up, open your hospital or UI. Maybe that's too broken at that point, but going in that direction of having customizable UI and hotkeys, I think is like a huge win for mobile players, for phone players.
Has anyone ever tried Blood Crow? Says their devices you can connect to your phone and use mouse and keyboard. Has anyone ever tried that?
I haven't tried it for this game specifically, but I've used it for a lot of other things. It's like really affordable too. You can get like a keyboard for $10.
Yeah, I know. I've got a Bluetooth keyboard. I hate chatting. I hate chatting on a tablet. So I've got a Bluetooth keyboard that plugs into my tablet. I've never tried it for any type of hotkeys, but
Something I do want to bring up that I don't think anyone's really talked about is the load on phones. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I played on mobile, it overheats my device, and if I have to charge, it's even worse. I can't even play.
Yeah, having it plugged in, playing any game is, yeah, it heats up really, really bad. I think that's an inherent issue on almost every mobile game though. And so it's kind of hard to control because they're trying to like push the performance of the game itself with the current hardware. And just due to it, because it's a smaller handheld device, like you're gonna feel that. Like even like if you played with like a Nintendo Switch or something like that, even in portable mode, they can get pretty hot just because, you know, you're not. I think it might be a perception thing too, though, because with a phone it's smaller and thinner. That's how like the trend for phones are. And so you're constantly feeling that like on your fingertips, you know, that it's right there. It'd be hard for them to fix that unless if you could do like, maybe they could go through and like graphics options, or like you mentioned, load on the phones. Maybe there's more load options that you can like tone down a lot more that might strip away some graphics and stuff. But that would be maybe hard to implement.
I know they already have load options where you can turn every merchant to Caesar and have like literally nothing there, but it makes it really hard for a phone player to actually target correctly, like murder balls and things like that.
Yeah. I think that's the trade-off, right? Is like you want to have more information on your screen and clarity, but then you have to sacrifice some performance. There could be definitely some more efficiency built into how graphics are displayed, maybe, and stuff like that, but that's like very, very complicated, I think, for like a handheld device.
yeah, there's so many different phones.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the experience I personally had. I also usually have let's say a big phone that allows you to play a lot of games on phone, and I changed between the same brand, same size and everything, but the core was different. So Samsung comes from either Snapdragon or their own Exynos, and the game was entirely different. So it's the same brand, same phone, it's just different processor, and the difference was so huge that it's unable to. I don't think one game can solve all the problems at once.
just to bring it up as well, Leo's talked about there's already been steps made where quick command on phone has made it a lot better.
Yeah, I feel like that is for sure. Like that update was really really good, and like there's like when they had attack march, quick command, things like that. Those are also headed in the direction of how generally mobile games are played, and it seemed to be, you know, very very positive, very beneficial. I know the other side of it though too is like, since it kind of like auto plays for you, I know there's a lot of people that would probably dislike, since this is like a real-time combat and there's like at least some amount of skill involved in controlling your march. I'm pretty sure if, you know, we already have technically quick command, but if there's more things that did autoplay for you, it's a mobile game, so maybe it's still headed that direction, but I know there's a lot of people that have some reservation about that. I'm kind of indifferent. I come from gacha games and I've played a bunch of mobile games that are supposed to be casual. You can just hop on, you know, do like the basic content you want as like just auto and not think about it. And then what you can do is like obviously the PvP and things like that usually are like interactive. I think for this game it's hard to go that direction fully. I know they're coming out with like auto barbs and things like that, but I could see it negatively impacting community like interaction and engagement as well.
I like the attack march.
It works well in the middle for Ark of Osiris, doesn't it?
Yep. And even in KVK where I'm really tired, I'm like, I'm gonna see what AI can do for me. You know.
Actually,
Lux, Onyx says you owe him some V-Bucks in Fortnite.
yeah, apparently I scammed him. I don't know. I don't even play Fortnite anymore. But
so I think the battle UI is an excellent start here. I'll clean these notes up. I think we're all in agreement that if they have more customizability as far as the battle interface, like if you could hide all this crap, you know, and just customize 4 or 5 buttons for battling on the bottom here, I think that would be a huge improvement that would help. At least from what I'm hearing anyway. Again, I don't play on phones.
Yep.
Cool.
Personally, I swapped from phone to PC, and like the difference was so insane, at least to me personally. Like, I refuse to play and fight on my phone.
I think that's how everyone feels, you know. Once you get the touch to the PC.
Leo's calling you out. 3303 register 1st of September, please.
Yes, we get 77.
We'll see.
That's an easy win though. 3303 versus Leo's Kingdom. That's an easy win for you.
I don't know. They might want to ally, but I don't know.
Okay, now we get to the fun topic, and I've got some suggestions of my own already in here. Make grinding great again. So I think when we were discussing this initially, we were talking about the rewards that need to be increased for players who grind, barb chain, run forts daily, participate in alliance events. You know, many times these players who are doing all these events, who are barb chaining on a daily basis, are your lower power, are your low spenders, your free-to-play players who are willing and who are grinding it out to try and keep up with the high spenders, right? They do have trouble keeping up though, because the rewards that you get from a lot of this stuff is not that great for them. Drop rate for AP bottles, for example, you know, to help them grind more. Teleports are few and far between in many events. Many players spend a lot of their alliance credits and or gems to purchase the teleports they need in a KVK. I myself will use anywhere from 50 to 150 teleports in a KVK. It makes it very, very hard for low spenders or free-to-play players to obtain those teleports that they needed. And I have passports in here, not teleports. Gems are increasingly hard to gather in the home kingdom. You know, we have level 1 and level 2 gem nodes. In KVK, there's level 3 and level 4 gem nodes. Some suggestions I had surrounding this were increase the drop rate for AP bottles when doing barb forts. Add rewards for chaining, for example, and these are not written in stone, right? But if you chain 250 barbarians in a single day with the single march, give that person a 50% expansion that they can use in KVK. Give them a teleport that they can use. For Pete's sake, if somebody is spending the time to chain 250 barbs in a single day, give them something more than just what those barbs give. Maybe increase level 3 gem nodes in Zone 4 in Home Kingdom. Karak bosses, those rewards are so freaking random. Some people get 7 gold heads when they do the bosses, other people get none. Just average it out. Give everyone 1 gold head per boss. That's 5 additional gold universals.
Yeah, and we already seen some kind of a guaranteed reward with the hammer event. You can see the dig for history. Now it's guaranteed. If you kill 1 bob, you get 1 hammer. It's no longer luck. I have to kill 50 freaking barbs to get 10 hammers or 50 barbarian forts.
You know, the other thing, like I was talking, teleports, right? Add those territorial teleports to a lot of those daily rewards, daily grinds. Make them random when you're doing barbs. I don't care. You know, the only thing I spend Alliance credits on is territorial teleports. And I know many players like that. So just some of my thoughts on how we can make grinding great again. If we want to start with Apo, go right ahead.
I don't think the barbarian. Before we talk about make the grinding great again, we need to look at the mechanics available in the game to make the grind great. The only mechanics we have for grinding is barbarian training. I don't think of anything else. And the other thing is the events. But if we start by barbarian training, there is problem with the actual barbarians. Like before we make the rewards better, they need to fix the mechanism of the barbarians. We can see it everywhere. Anybody training knows the barbarian just simply walks away. You know what I mean? So that's one of the big issues. So before they make the rewards, they need to actually make it normal for us to chain. I used to chain 30, 40, or 50 barbarians at the past. Now you're lucky to get 20. If you got in the corner of the map, yeah, you can grab a couple. But this is not how it used to be. The barbarians, even on the last KVK we played, the Storm of Stratagem, I hardly found barbarians on the map to chain. And I was not the only one. So I think, yeah, the rewards, before they make a bit, I think they need to fix the mechanism of the barbarians because it's not being the same. Other thing is the events. The events rewards, like I was just saying, about the events is they need to be guaranteed. It's just too much, man. Some people have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to do a silly event, and then they get nothing. Why did I get up in the 3 o'clock in the morning for? You know, it just doesn't make sense at all. Like what I was saying earlier. Sorry for interrupting. I thought we were talking, but my bad. The freaking what I was talking about is the rewards from the hammer event that's Dig for History. It's the first time we see guaranteed. They changed it, but it's only the hammer event. If you do 10 per forts, you will get 10 hammers. If you do 10 barbarians, you get 10 hammers, which is very random. You know, like they know that there's a problem about it, but nothing else is getting, you know, only that event.
So let me go back to your statement on barbarians. How about increasing the number of barbarians there are on the map to make it easier to chain?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we can teleport now on top of barbarians, right? So there's no reason they just can't increase the number of barbs on a map.
Actually, that fixes another concern is like for auto barbing. Like if people are just sending out an auto barbing and they're gonna kill everything on the map, then if you just up the spawn rate a little bit, like doesn't have to be anything crazy, but you can kind of offset that too.
Okay. Lux, do you have anything?
Increasing the barbarians would be great. I think that's been debuffed. I really believe it, man.
The chaining?
Lux said, George?
I think
Yes,
we captured
I
all
mean,
good.
Oh, yeah, let
Go ahead,
me forward it to you guys.
Oh.
Let me get
remembering the old days of chaining, I remember chaining was some sort of a fun activity we would be happy about for having accomplished so many chains in one go. And some people would do it for hours. Personally, I wouldn't. I would just do it once or twice, and it was like this community challenge that was fun. But of course, nowadays getting 2 or 3, it's a big challenge already, so completely stopped doing that. But I do remember the days Apple mentioned where, you could really chain and go on a chaining ground for hours.
Yeah, I mean, I would have chains of 40, 45 consistently. Now, if I get 12, I'm dancing a jig.
The question is why? Like, why did we end up here? Was it too much? Were people getting too much for free?
Yeah,
I think something.
Go ahead.
King Bob brought it up. There's an issue where people are being paid now to chain. I mean, people will chain for 12 hours a day on someone's account for so cheap that it doesn't even matter. So how do you create that balance then at that point?
That is true as well.
I was gonna say the silence is loud.
No, I was typing. Yeah, I mean, our last KVK. I mean, you saw players with nearly 1 million honor points. The top 5 were all at nearly 1 million honor. And granted, we didn't have a lot of fighting our last KVK, but there's no way on the face of the earth that account owner is doing all that work themselves. That goes back to our piloting discussion 2 weeks ago.
I kind of feel like if you that kind of service obviously is being offered and people are utilizing that kind of service on their accounts, but you are punishing your general player base like by taking that kind of view as well, right? There's no good way, because like the 1%, or I don't know what percent of people are doing that, like obviously you're going to be buffing them, but you're also buffing the rest of the player base, which I think is like a bigger win. I don't know. That's my initial impression without like deep diving into really the consequence too much.
Yeah, I mean, the balance here, right, is if they give more rewards for grinding, you're potentially going to have more people who use pilots having those pilots grind for them as well. So does leaving it the same work, or do we need better rewards for the free-to-play low spenders who are out there grinding on a daily? I know many players who are out there for 8, 10, 12 hours a day grinding their asses off so that they can participate like they want to participate in a KVK. And that's they need, those players who are doing it all on their own need something besides what they're currently getting.
I think like the biggest change that would help anything is like speed ups that you get from chaining. Like you can, if you're lucky, you might get an hour from one. That's usually around like 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, no matter what system is in place, players will use it to find it to their. Yeah, you're right, Peyton. But I think we're seeing a lot of low spenders, free to play players not getting enough satisfaction from this game, and it's a fine line you walk. It's hard to balance. Did Luxa, did you have anything?
I mean, honestly, I think these suggestions that we brought up, like, bring it closer to, like, I'm still kind of on the side of, if you try to limit the game because of the 1% abusing stuff, like that's, and again, I use 1% very lightly there. I'm not sure what the actual percentage might be, but if you balance it for the smaller group, then that's probably, at least in my mind, that's not, you could take a middle ground so that it's not as like beneficial. Like even just giving some small boost would be, even for like the free to play or like low spend or just super high active like players, it would definitely help them, right? I think the big point for me is like focus on taking the right small steps. We don't have to make it, there doesn't have to be like a huge change that just instantly takes place and then all of a sudden people are abusing things. But I think taking small steps in the right direction like these could be like, over time we could see like a huge benefit. Maybe they'll find the fine line or the stopping point where like, okay, we're accepting this much of, you know, that small percentage or small group to abuse, but the overall player base is happy up to this point, right? It's kind of giving back to the community and the hard grinders is how I see it.
That is a great point. I mean, the percentage to managing how much of it benefits the overall. So in terms of numbers, let's say if you increase 10% the number of barbs, will it take the KVK honor points from 500k to 2 million, or will it, you know, make it so the overall slightly takes 10% up? And that's a fine line. They can only discover this by experimenting, right? I mean, nobody has the answer.
Yep.
Okay.
I think
Anything?
something to get brought up with the grinding is Marauders. I mean, they're useless now. Why are they so useless and we deal with them for 2 days? Josh brought it up and he's pretty adamant about talking about it.
Yeah, I think also with like the higher level barbs now in Home Kingdom, Marauders are like even less less desirable, because then you hop into KVK and then it's just like they're in a weird transition point now where I don't feel like they serve a really good purpose besides literally just for pre-KVK, right? Like there's no real benefit in grinding them.
Yep.
And I want to correct Oni. That's not technically true. In everyone here can correct me if I'm wrong. Oni in chat said, well, pre-KVK is in KVK now, but if I'm not mistaken, they rolled that back, right?
Yeah, so
No.
my
Yeah.
KVK was the only KVK that had it, and they announced that they were going to remove it completely. I mean, there was issues of Marauders taking KVK barbs and no crystal. There was no honor from them, and they would take KVK barb spawns.
Yeah, so I think pre-KVK probably has a lot of like adjustments that they might have to do to make that really fully work. But I just feel like I don't know if this is just literally top of my head. What if you changed it so that it's not only Marauders? What if it's just barbs in general that you can kill to satisfy that stage? I mean, at this point, they seem to be like kind of not really useful and just like a leftover sort of mechanic that doesn't really fit into with today, is I guess how I'd put it.
Yeah, and I think we've all seen, right? No matter how many Marauders somebody does, you're going to have a Kraken in every KVK who just trains a bunch of troops and pushes ahead of them. So for me,
have a question.
For me, it's more about time. Go for it.
I do have a question for Apple. How was it in KVK 1 on Marauders? Like
Marauders, we
pre-KVK
don't have no Marauders KVK one. Oh, for Marauders, sorry, for the pre-KVK, it was pretty good. The drop rate was nice. Well, I did them specifically for. What was that?
Like in 77, nobody kills Marauders, but were people killing it in KVK 1?
100%. It's a big part of the KVK. Even KVK 2 was also a big part. But you know, this is where it stops, because it helps your account. After this KVK, you will hardly find anybody doing Marauders now.
And
everybody will focus on their honor.
Oh my goodness, I've got a marker in 77. But correct me if I'm wrong, Apple. In 77, we crushed it on Marauders. We had first place going into pre-KVK. Right?
Correct.
And then
both KVKs.
72 just out-trained us big time.
Yes. I think it was about 100 million led by training. So it was like boom. But again, for myself, like I use for my account, I got to upgrade my castle in pre-KVK. I got to upgrade my wall in pre-KVK. You know, so it does help me. But for someone that gemmed all of that stuff, why would they even bother? What's so good in it? Nothing. KVK Barbarians will be better. You know what I mean?
So would increasing the drop rate on Marauders help, or do they really need to look at increasing the rewards on those? I think the best stuff you get from doing Marauders is when you put the satchels together and you actually get those chests.
Exactly.
Which
This is
they
the
nerf.
only extra reward you get, and this is what they always say. Like when you try to say you should get it more bitter, they will tell you, but you don't look at the bigger picture. You get these statues that gives you more rewards, but the rewards are not guaranteed. Like we've seen, you open some rewards, you never see it 3 days. Sometimes you open the rewards and you get teens 3 days. It's lots of the luck-based rewards is very difficult.
Is
You know
it
what I mean?
is it just me also? When Marauders first spawn, it seems like the drop rate for me is 75%. Then the closer you get to those 2 days, those 48 hours being up, I'm lucky if I'm getting 10% drop rate on those satchels.
Yeah, there is a serious problem about that. There's
I
no
don't know.
denying.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Give us crystal. Give me
Crystal,
crystals on Marauders. I'll do it.
Yeah, that's true.
On each Marauder, of course. Plus satchels.
The guaranteed. Again, see? The guaranteed reward.
Yeah, I mean, you
that's
get
the big thing
crystals
about
and then satchels, yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, that's the big thing about Sock is you need crystal tech, and they don't drop crystal, and so there's no reason to waste AP on them.
All right, so I will highlight this part. Do we have anything from chat on this?
Not really, but something I also want to point out about the satchels is even though it feels like certain hours also give certain of the blueprints, because you can like go a day where you can't get one, and then the next day it's something else. So like even satchels themselves are kind of a problem.
I was actually gonna bring that up when Lambo, when you were mentioning about like the drop rate of satchels. It seems like there's like some rotation of timer for the pieces, which is like super annoying.
Yeah, everyone seems to always be out of the same one whenever there's trading taking place.
Yep.
Marauders have worse drop rates than KVK barbs. Blood Crow 1000%. What did Blood Crow say? Marauders need crystals to drop. Okay. So we're going to talk more about crystals here in our next section. Did anyone have anything further to make grinding great again?
No. Myself.
All right. I know I'm in.
Just real quick. Sorry. One thing that probably should be mentioned. Someone made a comment. The individual credits are too hard to grind.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
The individual credits, so like the silver coins, are too hard to grind. Like realistically.
I know every KVK I blow through like all of my crystals for random TPs too. So it's like I literally have to buy like 100 plus random TPs because either maybe it's just me, but my luck is absolutely terrible. So like everything for me gets used up on random TPs, and then I know even for newer players, it's just like, you know, we're forced into building fake flags and forts just to build up credits, and that could be another topic like we could deep dive into later. But yeah, individual credits are definitely a problem.
Yeah, you're limited to 20,000 daily building reward credits. So maybe they increase that to make one troop flags or one troop forts, whichever you're doing, and double this to 40,000.
40 or 50, double or like increase the rate gain. They'd have to, I think, in I don't know, and during or over the 24-hour period, right?
If I were to choose only one thing, I would choose teleports. Random or not random, I need teleports.
Exactly.
I run out of everything.
Yeah.
And honestly, it hurts to use like, I don't know, 25k gems per KVK on teleports. It just hurts.
I mean, that's easy to fix, right? Add a Terror's teleport to this 100 box in the daily objectives. Boom.
Yep.
If you're doing all your daily objectives, then you're getting one territorial teleport per day, which in the off season, that can be, you know, for some kingdoms, if they're doing max skipping, that can be 30, 40 teleports. If they're doing 2 weeks of skipping, you're getting 14 teleports at least.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, I'll highlight that one too. I think, because yeah, I hate using gems on teleports. I agree with you 100% there.
Meadow Spark, I'll bring them inside 1 second.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Sorry, Kurt brought it up. I mean, it wasn't really talked about. The AP cap. I mean, we all hate it. No one likes it.
Increase the cap.
My question there
For
is
Barb Fort.
why? In the first place, what was the reason that they kept it? I don't remember.
Back then, there used to be the way that you could have infinite AP as long as you, like for Marauders, for example, Marauder ports, as long as you had a certain amount, you could always have infinite AP.
Yep. But I don't remember a major, let's say, system abuse of people overforting or something. For them to have blocked AP generation.
I think at one time there was an accusation that certain kingdoms were using bots to run forts.
Oh, okay.
Just
I missed it. Yep.
Just going on memory here. And I'm not going to say those kingdoms because those kingdoms have changed significantly over time, but yeah, I mean, they could definitely increase the drop rate and increase the AP cap. You know, help those players who need the AP to grind, who are not buying the daily crystal bundle, who are not buying Mountain Warfare. Help them tremendously. All right, anything else from chat on this topic, or should we move on to the next?
No, it's just a little bit about how it used to be and how it was so much better for Crystal and all that. That's about it.
Okay, cool. All right, so for the longest time, the Alliance skills have remained the same. Fully loaded, Nature's Gift, Unbridled Progress, Counteroffensive, Books and Battles, Skillful Craftsman. I know we are using fully loaded Nature's Gift, Books and Battles consistently, so we have stuff to donate to. Unbridled Progress, we save for our ARC matches. Counteroffensive, many players use that in ARC as well. After the first 10 minutes, they'll pop this to get a 10% defense. Skillful Craftsman, you save that for KVK. There's really not a need for most Season of Conquest kingdoms to use Skillful Craftsman outside of KVK. So, let's talk about potentially adding new Alliance technology skills. In this game, and we discussed this 2 weeks ago, community is everything. If we add some new Alliance skills in here, that may help promote teamwork and community that this game is sometimes lacking, whether it's in an Alliance or in a kingdom. Some thoughts that I had, suggestions that I had, were adding a skill that reduces Barb Fort rallies from 5 minutes to 1 minute, 4 hours. Okay, in off season, having a skill that for 4 hours, the highest level barbs and highest level barb forts give a limited number of crystals that people can stack for the next upcoming KVK. Now they may have to cap that. You know, they may have to cap that at 2 million crystals per off season, right? But this would allow players to then start accumulating crystals that they can use in their next KVK. Additionally, maybe an 8-hour Kingdom AP boost, which would increase the AP gained by 50%. Or Alliance AP boost. Okay, we have, I think it's called Favorable Weather as a king skill that increases resource production by 50% for 8 hours. Maybe do the same thing as an Alliance skill. You know, I think these 3 things alone would promote teamwork. You know, okay, everybody be on at such and such a time for 1 minute Barb Fort rallies. You know, you use all your AP, you run all those rallies, and then, you know, you pop a Alliance AP boost. Or everyone be on at a certain time. We're going to travel around the map together, hitting the level 40 barbs, hitting the level 10 forts, so that we can all stack crystals for the next KVK. Then you pop the 8-hour AP boost. We've had these 6 for the longest time. I think we need to add something else in here to promote that community, promote that teamwork amongst alliances, kingdoms, and players. So, Luxta, we'll go to you for this one. Are there any new alliance technology skills that you would care to offer, or opinions on these 3 already suggested?
I think the ones that you brought up are like pretty smart, because we keep talking about how this game is very heavily community focused, and it's based on like this game exists because of the community. These kind of skills offer like more opportunities to actually pull people into the game, and it seems like actually like a fun time. Like they're not overly complicated. It's just, hey, beyond this is gonna be the time we're gonna do the buff, and then you see all this activity boom. The 4 hours of fast barb also, like, it's a nice window where your activity is gonna be very high. I honestly really like these. The numbers and stuff like that, as far as like, is 4 hours too much? Is the AP boost like increased by 50%? Is 50% too much? Like, I think the numbers obviously don't matter, but the point of boosting activity and bringing community together, like your alliance, your kingdom, like, I do really like these. I don't have one off the top of my head though that I would suggest that's like outside of these, but I really like these. I think they're really good suggestions.
Okay, great. I did something right.
AP one.
What's that, Horse?
I'm in love with the AP suggestion. I mean, maybe the numbers may change, but just the fact that having a favorable weather be a favorable, I don't know, water too for the AP, I just love it.
Oh, Apo? What could Apo? You're kind of helping coordinate in a newer kingdom. What kind of alliance skills like this would benefit a newer kingdom? Because I'm thinking and making these suggestions for, Season of Conquest kingdoms, right? Is there anything in here that you would suggest differently?
I had similar one to you, was the action point one. I wanted something similar to this, like an action point, because action point is so hard in the early game, like really hard. So having an alliance boost that can help us with action points would be a very nice option. The other thing that would be a little bit also helpful is I just feel like our alliance skills need revamping. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's always the same. You know what I mean? Even from the beginning. And then the other side to it, none of the alliance skills could be used as to protect alliance member for any reason. The only one that can be used is the shield. You know what I mean? So all the alliance skills are majority, none of them is in a situation. I feel like there is some situation, there is a possibility alliance skill could be used, you know what I mean, to prevent something or help something. But the action point one, I think, is my favorite one out of them all.
Okay,
and it will apply. It will apply to 3777 as well. Early game in general. The majority of people don't. I don't know. I feel like the gatherings one need to move on. I don't know.
When I have a ton.
I do have a question for you.
Yep, go ahead.
So, what if something like a pre-KVK 3 skill set where you can, instead of waiting till Lost Temple to get buffs for like research, trade, and building, wouldn't that be beneficial for early kingdoms to have access to that in alliances early? Especially with like differing time zones, with younger kingdoms being larger, it's hard to find that buff time that works for everybody.
I can't remember 3 KVKs back, let alone what I did in KVK 3, so I'm going to rely on others.
I mean, I'm personally currently doing a restart with a friend where we're account sharing, and it's been difficult because we have to time things on buffs. It's when we want to grow the most, but you don't have buffs for like 2.5 months.
Oh, so things like from the ground up, Industrial Revolution, or are we talking the Alliance skills because the technology just isn't advanced enough?
Well, like the king buffs specifically being available for early alliances for early kingdom.
So there's a training buff in early kingdoms, right? Mobilize for war.
Right, but I mean that as an alliance skill.
Oh, so an alliance skill rather than a kingdom skill.
And can you... You know what's a major issue as well? Popo is right. Alliance resources in the early game. This is a major problem.
In what way?
Building flags, generating enough resources to keep up with building your tech and building flags. It's a real hard. The thing about it is we've been playing Season of Conquest for a long time. When I started the 3777, I realized how much the game is better in the early game, yeah, but how much there's a gap as well. It's so hard, bro, to build flags and keep up with everything.
Okay, so every time you upgrade something, you need to use Alliance credits. You need to use Alliance resources.
No, Alliance resources, yeah.
And it's hard to do both and still be effective in KVK. You're basically choosing one over the other. Do we continue to upgrade this tech, or do we need to save for flags in KVK?
Exactly. Otherwise, you're gonna have to ask your members. It's just, bro, it's really hard. Even though with people trying to gather resources on the territory, everybody donating gems, we don't have anything to help us. And you know, that's an experience for me, for the future players that are gonna come back to the game, who come and play the game. But if we do implement these changes for them, they're gonna be, forever. Forever better.
What if, and this is just a random thought, what if there was optional donation from individual players to add into it? Because I know you farm it and you can build it up, but what if there's an additional, like, it might be constraining the amount of resources available for fighting, but let's just say, like, also I guess it could make it so that some kingdoms might like force a certain amount of donation of resources to build tech and stuff. But I was just trying to think of, like, what's one quick way that some of the costs could get alleviated, if it stayed the same.
So I mean, once I run out of chances here, and hang on, let me actually donate to the one that they're suggesting so Echo doesn't yell at me. Once you run out of resources here, people can do that, right? If you got if you got crazy people that want to donate gems, are you saying above and beyond this?
Like, yeah, not necessarily even just this, but like if you go back to actually research the skill, right, to unlock the skill, like, this just builds the bar so you can unlock the next level of the skill. But then there's also, we're talking about the additional resources to research that skill or the tech, right? So, like, if there is a separate donation that could go into, like, the Alliance resource pool or storehouse, like, on top of that, like, these you could help, like, these are small incremental ways you can build the progress bar to be able to upgrade the skill, but then maybe a way to donate to the storehouse, if that makes sense.
Okay, so a separate storehouse for technology versus flags.
It could be that as well. That's, yeah. Yeah, basically, like, this storehouse, maybe you can also donate just specifically to go into here. Because that, if I'm not mistaken, when you're donating, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe this is something that I just have mistaken, but when you donate your resources for that tech progress bar to go up, you're just donating for the like those go into the storehouse. Is that right? Or
Yep.
do they? Okay. See that I had wrong in my mind on how that worked. I thought
Oh,
it was
I'm
literally
sorry.
just-
If I'm donating here to technology, these resources do not go into the storehouse itself. The only
See,
way
so-
the
yeah.
storehouse increases is by, gathering on Alliance territory or over time.
Okay, so then my thinking was correct because at least I had
That's
the
a
right
great
frame of
idea.
reference. Yeah, if we could essentially donate directly to the storehouse to offset some of the costs. Because you have like donating for the skills, like, or the text progress bar just to be able to upgrade it. But then there's maybe, you can have a separate donation of, let's just say like, so here you can see like the storehouse is like 5.1 mil. Let's say if you wanted to have 6 mil and I have an extra 900,000 resources, I can just say, okay, here's my 900,000 corn or food. I don't really need it because I'm a high paying player or I'm a high farming player. Done, right? So I don't know. That's just something.
No. I'm working through this in my head. Right, it takes me a while sometimes. So,
Oh, no,
if I have 5 million extra food, I can donate it directly to the storehouse to build up this stuff faster.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, the storehouse quantity, like maybe there's like a ratio, like yeah, no, like what Popo's saying, like you can't donate 1-to-1, right? If I donate 1 million, like that can't go up to 6.1 million because that's just super broken.
Yep.
Like maybe if it's like a super small fraction of that, or maybe they change, like this would have to maybe even redesign how storehouses work, so maybe it's too complicated. But maybe if it's like 1% of the resources, or I don't know, that would feel like a waste at the same time. So maybe this idea kind of just doesn't work in practicality. I mean, upping the rate of storehouse accumulation could also just be, just I would see those two as like my initial ideas, I guess.
What about just taking the general tech donations that you're already doing and take a portion of what you're paying and just turn that into like the storehouse?
You could as well. The amounts are so low. Maybe like, because like, let's say if it's if Lambo, I think she showed up, it was like, what was it, 8,000 to donate or something like that. Let's just say like it's 5,000 to donate, and then even if you did like 10% of that, right? Maybe like the 500 goes in there. That seems very small, but at the same time, you'd have to find the fine line to where it's not actually just broken. Maybe donating like even the 100% of that amount could be okay.
So, I think, and Carr brought this up as well. Go ahead, George.
If I'm being contrarian, let's say we are Lilith, right? They want the alliances to learn things and arrive to a certain stage on a certain level of KVK. Let's say theoretically it's best, for example, to have one alliance that is max tech with max territory by KVK 3. If that's the plan, any changes to the resource donation or accelerating stuff without a certain level of activity might not, let's say, create the necessary community to play KVK4. So yeah, that's the issue I see in this case. Like if we play around with base mechanics that they've been probably studying for the last 7 years of what an alliance should be on a timeline level on multiple KVKs, that's a data point we really miss in this case.
So is it possible, and I don't know this, is it possible to max your technology then for early kingdoms by KVK 4?
Yes, it is. But at a cost. You're not going to do it without spending gems and upside down stuff. It's just simple. You know what I mean?
So if they increase this resource generation rate, I'm having a brain fart here. If they increase this rate for early kingdoms that would help, right? Because I totally get what Horse is saying, right? If
Then we'll go to flags and look at it, and you will see.
what do I need to look at in flags?
Go like click on your profile and look at the whole KVK flags. You know what I mean? And you will see what I mean. You will realize the gap. Like we are older players. We have a little bit more tricks up our sleeves, you know? But when you look at other people, you'll be like, oh, what the okay. See, Limbo? It's not right. You know, this is a lot of experience went into this to make it happen. The closest people to us are 84, and look at them, 415 flags. People will say, oh, but Apple, you don't understand. They focus on tech, not flags. Bro, BS on the top, or BP, for example, is pretty much max tech. You know? Or fighting, max tech and fighting. And they at what? 514. So there is a gap. If you don't have an experience, someone that knows the gap, knows ups and downs and what you need to do, how are you like, how can you compete with these people? I appreciate there's experience and everything, but you know what I mean? It was really hard. And I will tell you just an example, just for everybody. Nobody's perfect. So for example, someone dropped a fort in the wrong place, okay? Or dropped a fort in the wrong place.
Kicking 0.
You know, didn't collect all the resources in the way because they are not an expert flagger, because they shouldn't be. They just started playing Rise of Kingdom. They don't even know what's going on. 1 gold gives you 1,000. Bro, it's really difficult. You need 100 golds to make 100,000. You make 100k an hour. You know what I mean? So looking at the bigger picture, and again, the 3777 was majority of, like, the reason for it is a great experience for newer players. I can see the problems, and we need to bring them to them. So this is one of the things was I noticed that, you know, we have very experienced people doing the flags in 3777 involved in the biggest kingdoms. And when you compare it to everybody else, you kind of see, okay, why there's a big gap.
So there
Yeah.
there is a content suggestion then. I don't recall seeing many videos outside of Skywalker 3 or 4 years ago that talk about the methodology of building flags.
Yeah, but the issue is here, you asking someone that, you know, does this professionally, known for his experience, sit down and give his knowledge to everybody. And unfortunately, not many people will do this.
Well, Queen would
Not someone with a very good experience.
Queen would have to do that video for you, Apple. You couldn't do that.
Limbo, like, can we not say? Bro, I come here to be picked on as well. Like, guys, come on. Oh, look, the whole chat. Yeah,
Yes,
Apple's a noob. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you. I hope you hit that like button before I hate you.
So I mean, simply,
Yeah, sorry.
simply, right? If we ask them to increase the resource generation rate for early kingdoms, that would solve the issue.
It would 100% solve an issue. Otherwise, give me an alliance thing. I also am not gonna lie that, like, how it was recommended on the podcast. Someone thought that when you donate your alliance tech, it goes to your alliance resources. That makes so much sense. And now I can say, okay, what do we need, guys? We need gold. Okay, we need to do this. We need stone. I really think it's a freaking, even though it came as an idea of a mistake, you know what I mean? I think it's great.
Okay.
What do you think, guys?
I don't play early KVK, well, other than 377.
What do you think, Limbo, of this? If
I-
I donate gold, if you donate gold, it goes to, like 1% of a, I'm not asking for like 20. 1% of the 20 hits goes to there. Up was wrong as usual. That's sad, bro.
Peyton, there is a new
So good.
there is a new emoji you can use as well. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Go ahead, Solar. You're
Yes,
gonna
my
say something.
only concern for early kingdoms with increased resource generation is how many more civil wars will be created because more alliances get access to things.
Explain.
So if alliances get access to resources easier, and you don't have, like, for example, in my research right now, we had a rogue alliance, and they cause a lot of issues. They can connect to a lot of things. It's caused us issues with people getting zeroed or getting attacked. So, like, with unorganized kingdoms, would that cause more issues of people having territory attacks and breaking apart early game experiences before they start?
I think no matter what they do, and this is my opinion, of course, it's not to argue with you at all. I think no matter what they do, civil wars in early kingdoms is an issue.
100%. Someone's always unhappy. Someone else spends a ton of money and thinks they can do what they want. It's just
Yep.
how it is.
Any other thoughts on this?
I'm very conflicted. As much as I love the idea about the donation going directly to the storehouse, I cannot unsee the unintended consequences of such,
Yeah, I honestly, I removed that from our suggestions, and I'm going to keep it simple: increase resource generation rate for early kingdoms, or reduce the flag cost.
Like, here's the problem we're trying to solve. From one end, Apo's saying there's not even a slight error margin, like there's no wiggle room of people making mistakes. But from the other end, we have less experienced people not being able to catch up. Now let's say 777 as an example, they are experts with people who have experience. So if you give them more resources, they'll outpace the top two even more, making it impossible, to catch up. I don't think that a top two would be able to benefit. Let's say Lilith adds 50% or 100%, they double the generation. The top two would benefit 10%, the top one would get 90% or 99% more of the benefit, because they know what they're doing. And that's the dilemma I'm having in my brain. Like, will the top 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 be able to be that optimized to catch up to the top one in this case? Or will the top one just outpace, go, out of this world, have 1,000 flags, which is impossible, but yeah, get the point.
No, and that makes perfect sense as well, right? If so, Apo, if we have 377 who are expert flag builders going against another kingdom that are not expert flag builders, it would help the kingdom that is expert flag builders much more than the kingdom that is not expert flag builders, and the KVKs will just go to hell. Not that 3777 had a good KVK and the first KVK won, but that's neither here nor there. Thoughts? Oh, Taki coming in with the suggestion. Maybe reduce the cost for things in off season. Evo, you still with us?
Yeah, sure I am. Sorry, I think my mic dropped or something.
Any thoughts on what George was saying?
I think I heard what George's concerns are. And then I kind of dropped. I don't know what happened. I couldn't hear. I'm just trying to fix it. Isn't George was concerns? Was anything else regarding the concerns he raised about it?
No.
Yeah, I did hear the concerns, and I also read the chat. They were saying the similar thing. I don't understand where they're coming from, because exactly if we already up that many flags as it is, and there is a mechanism that can make you generate more, it would end up making the people that know what they're doing even better, which I understand.
All right. So how's this? 8-hour alliance skill to increase the alliance
Oh my god,
storehouse rate.
Okay, that's a great idea now.
Okay.
Now this is exactly right. Only 8, that's fantastic. And everybody gathers like crazy. Okay, I love that.
Maybe have that replace the fully loaded that only gives you a bonus of 1 resource type.
I still want the fully loaded. I need my gold, damn it.
Okay, no, those.
But yeah, if there's
Maybe just an optimization of.
So George, what do you think? Is this a balance between what everybody's saying here, an 8-hour alliance skill? Because any kingdom could use it. Or any alliance could use it. 8-hour alliance skill to increase the alliance storehouse rate.
Yep.
Are we all okay with
I
that?
mean, we'll have to do the maths. It's a great idea. Just it's as good as Lux's idea for me. Like just generating that from clicking. Both are amazing ideas.
Okay.
Now the question is, what would be the consequence? We actually don't know, so it's fun to see. I think implementing those would be even amazing because you can actually see what's happening.
We're getting a few new subscribers today. Thank you everyone who is subscribing. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, so are we good on new alliance technology skills? Anyone in chat have anything else that they think can be added here?
There wasn't anything in chat that really talked about. Oh, I guess there's one, or there's like a gather skill similar to the one in Tides that gives you a 205% extra resource. So like I think it's called Toil. You gather slower but get more resources, so maybe something like that.
Say that again? A skill that does what?
So it's the same thing as like farming equipment giving you extra resources. Basically, you get an alliance skill that also gives you more resources.
Okay. Captain says that's terrible. You can't just come in and say, that's terrible, Captain, without giving specifics.
It's the Toil in King of... What is it called? I
It's
see now.
Toil and Tides.
God of War, that's it.
Toil?
Yeah.
I like the idea of an alliance skill that nukes 2377's territory and only their territory. That would be fun, KVK.
With which skill, Captain? Which skill you're talking about spamming forts? Alliance storehouse rate? Change march speed back? I don't understand. I clearly missed a lot of chat. What's Popo talking about?
So when they updated the march speed change, it used to be wherever you were targeting is where you got territory buffs, and now it's only when you're on that territory you get those buffs.
Yeah, there was a lot of changes.
Huh? I'm confused, very confused.
So
I think-
when it was the old return strategy where in order to get better in a ball position you would hit R because you would move faster.
I think they changed that so that you wouldn't retreat very fast. I think this is like a side conversation or topic.
That's
Yeah.
what they're talking about. It's like a general alliance change to territory.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing related to new alliance skills.
No, just an alliance thing in general. Just Popo complaining. pretty much typical things.
Okay, when Popo complains, all you got to do is exclamation mark Po. He smells worse than a used pair of gym socks buried in your locker for a full school year. It's Popo, pronounced poo-poo. Check him for skid marks.
You brought on yourself, Popo.
Mars comment is crazy.
And while we're here, let me pop links to Apo, to Luxta, and to Pro Kingdoms.
Yo, Luxta got my cote. And Bankan.
All right, I think we're going to wrap up the technology skills. If anyone in chat has other skills that they think would be valuable in here, you can certainly send me a DM. Or on my Discord, we have a specific podcast ideas and feedback section. So join my Discord, post suggestions for the next pod in there as well. Moving on, Alliance Mobilization Optimizations. Apo, you raised this one. So what is the current issue with Alliance Mobilization as you see it?
Thank you. So, first of all, I believe the Alliance Mobilization is very expensive event if you want to be competitive. The whales think I'm wasting my time here and it's funny, but I'm being honest. Because you guys buy bundle and it's very easy. Someone gonna come in the chat and tell me, you can, thanks Bridgerton. Appreciate the support, brother. So someone gonna say, you can gather up. For me to gather, I need to sit down, for every 6 hours until, I'm sorry. If I have something to do in my life, I have to set an alarm. Bro, I don't like to disturb my life. This event disturbed my life. I can't do something what I'm wanting to do. I'm stuck. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you have to buying bundles. Okay, buying bundles in the daily game, it's very easy. You can buy 3 bundles and boom, you finish it. But when in the Season of Conquest, you need to buy 6 bundles as minimum. So if I do it every day and buy 2, I can only do 3 quests buying the daily bundle over 6 days. I just feel like it's very expensive. Training, buying bundles, and then people tell you must finish it. I do appreciate you must finish it, but what if people saving for like a Zenith? People don't have much speed ups. I want to push for KVK. And the reward is sad to miss out on. This is my other problem. Like, it's really big rewards. How, and majority, there is a lot of people don't know how that can be improved. The barbarian killing is waste of time, bro. Doing forts, waste of time. So there is no enough things. The gathering is hard to get the one, and it's 170. You can even do better. 170 is max. So if you don't have a full alliance, you're not going to be able to finish it. You will see in 1029 how many farms come to try to help. So it is a very hard event. The quests need to change, and you need to give us some flexibility on them, and the points need to be raised.
We struggle to
be gathering.
we struggle to hit level 10 in 1029.
Yeah, exactly. And this how many farms contribute. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you do the barb is not the barbarian quest is not good enough. The quest for gold chest is not good enough. I'm trying to tell you, the best you could do is the 170 on gathering, and that's as hard. Especially gold, you better have your gold gathering, already started before you take that quest, because in 6 hours is very difficult. So there is a lot of things that goes into this that is not easy, especially if you're not also in KVK. So I really think the event need to be just slightly, even give us more points. Give us more quests that could be fun, but I don't know what it could be. It can be fun because training costs speed ups, costs resources, Buying bundle, it requires you have to be able to invest money on that week. So yeah, it's not an easy event for me. And lots of people struggle with it.
It's really gem heavy too. There's so many gems you have to put into it. For example, the technology donation, you can't even do that for free in the timeline. You have to spend gems on it.
That's so true. That's so true.
And also even the gym, like even the gym tasks, they are very like, because guys, you have to understand, if you want to get the max level, you have to get the max. You do the biggest ones. You can't do 5k and 6k. You have to do 15, 14k gyms, 15k gyms. You know, you spend like 50k gyms doing 3 tasks. I'm going, buddy, 50k gyms. This is my. I was saving this for a month. You know. How am I end up here now? So I feel like it comes very frequently. The balance mobilization, I feel there is some adjusting need to be.
I like the idea of maybe increasing the points, but I do think adjusting specifically for the average community, like let's just say like free to play, low spend, why not adjust the normal activities for just playing the game, right? So like the resource amount, like maybe lower the resource amount you have to farm, maybe the barb amount you have to kill, make that more in line so it's not like absolutely they're gonna destroy your AP just to try to blast through that, right? Same with forts. Yeah, I see that like as a huge issue is people struggle to finish the quest on time. And I mean, I'm sure if you're in a super large like imp kingdom and stuff like that, obviously you can push, you have a lot of spenders, so it's maybe not a big deal, but I would say the majority of the kingdoms for sure struggle with AM. And I know back when we were CC'd, it's an event that we would hit level 10, but it was a struggle. Like,
it is really a struggle. And only really the people that say the rewards are amazing, everything, you're the only one seeing the rewards because you play in a big kingdom and your kingdom finishes it. There's only literally kingdoms you can cancel in your hand that finishes that event. So many don't make the maximum reward.
Well,
even when I was playing in other kingdoms, Imperium, we had to use farms because some people were unreliable. Imagine replacing real players with farms. It's a legit problem event. Some people tell you, I'm not playing it. I don't want it. Thank you. Because he preferred to, you know, go Zenith or wanna focus on KVK.
When we say big kingdom, I would put 77 in there. There was one time we couldn't finish it. Level 18.
Here you go. That's amazing. Wow.
Because we were so tired after KVK, we were, you know, half offline. And of course, after KVK, it was too hard KVK, so we were just tired and people just couldn't do it.
Yeah, man, that's
77.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about it is, in big kingdoms, you guys generate nice amount of resources that there's not a problem for you to finish it. Like, you can train, you can do whatever, because you can afford that, guys, you know, to go into 2,000, 3,000 beat ups at KVK. But when you look at the smaller kingdom, already some of us struggle to bring the 1,000 before the KVK or the 2,000, whatever you want to do, without making big investment. How are we supposed to train when I'm gonna spend like 50, 100, 200 days just to get alliance mobilization task done?
Yeah, sorry to jump in here. I'm gonna let you guys talk for a second. I'm gonna go use the restroom. When I come back, give me some suggestions as how to improve it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, suggestion for improvement. I think they need to think outside the box, bro. Like, they need to come up with the equipment one. Make equipment. Brother, really?
Yep.
Like, this is what is crazy. The amount and what's more crazy? There is no epic one. None of that. It's only legendary, and you must use a very huge amount of your material. Yeah, sometimes you can.
Increase between 180 and 240 points is massive. You go from 30 legendaries to I don't know how much. I think 180, which is massive amounts.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the gathering, the 170 kept at gathering is not good enough.
We do need new. Is the solution having new quests or point change?
But even if you think about new quests, what are they gonna do? Like in KVK,
silver
no
keys.
points. Oh, silver keys. 5,000.
Hey man, at least it'll give me something like to look forward when I get them and use them, right? Like, ah, yes, I can save them for AM.
That's true. That's true.
I think
But yeah, it's a really tricky event for me. I really struggle with it.
Would be,
especially when they come on both accounts. I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, what am I supposed to do?
buy
a second
bundles on
problem.
possible.
But we experienced, once we were not first, we were second to a small kingdom due to the Korean accounts having the pre-saved.
Oh, the bundles saved.
Yeah, so they would just do non-stop 240, and you can literally just buy dailies and then open them together 3 days
That's not
after.
I just realized this is a huge disadvantage. Welcome back.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
This
They
is
were
actually
like-
a huge disadvantage for the
Yeah.
Korean community. Like they have a huge advantage on us. Oh my
so
god.
basically we were beaten by a bunch of farms because they could buy the bundles on the farm and then push it on 240 points. That was crazy.
All right.
Oh my god, bro.
I didn't even think of that.
Me neither, bro. I'm kind of stunned.
So we have 2 suggestions in here already. Add additional quests of different variety that do not require a money investment but give good points. Somebody in chat, I read this, Solar. So when a quest is locked by somebody, you don't get other quests of the exact same thing generating.
That suck.
So if I buy 6 bundles, right, that's not going to pop up again until I complete that quest. So if somebody locks that 10 hours before reset because they're going to buy 6 bundles at reset, it screws other people for those 10 hours, is how I understood this.
It's 100% correct.
And currently the event favors Korean kingdoms that can save those bundles and open them for those genuine bundle quests. How do they balance that with the international players and international kingdoms?
And they need to uncap the gathering. Why 170 is the max?
I like this suggestion in chat as well. What if we just give the R4s the ability to select which quests that their kingdom wants?
Or even if it's not like, you can specify exactly which ones. Maybe like narrow down the pool, right? Be like, I don't want any equipment, or like I want this to show up like 10% of the time instead of like maybe 30 or whatever the rate might be. It might be interesting to adjust the odds, or at least a chance at it.
When I'm refreshing AM quests, I'm always refreshing Alliance Technology, I'm always refreshing high gem spend quests generally, and then training quests, because like the amount of speed you have to put into it for the points is just not worth it.
Yeah, the other thing with training speeds is like maybe the kingdom doesn't want people to push power, and then it's just like causing people to push a little bit of power, which, especially lower seed kingdom, is definitely detrimental for like matchmaking.
All right, so I'm just doing a time check here. We're 2 hours in. Do we want to jump to discussion topics and skip immigration control and kingdom management? Save that for our next pod? Or do we want to hammer through that today as well?
No, I think 2 hours, yeah, it's good. We'll go to the last one.
Go to our discussion topics?
Yeah,
That's probably good.
I think so,
Yep.
yeah.
I think the kingdom merger or kingdom.
The kingdom merger
migration
was
is
the
such
one
a
that
big-
came too many times in the chat.
All right.
So maybe this is the topic we should
Hey.
bring up, because I read that too many times in the chat. And I think this is one of the hottest topics. We shouldn't really skip it.
All right, let's do it. Go for it. Start us out.
Great. I would like you to open the KVK menu, like where you can see your kingdom number, please, Lambo. That's how I would like to start it. It's something I came across on my stream. So if you open, like you zoom out and you click on the, sorry, my bad, I don't know what's called. You zoom out and you click on the earth,
Good one.
that circle. Yeah, here it is. Thank you. Yeah, that's a global. And you go to Heroic Anthem. KVK, please. I just would like to show you something, guys, that I saw on stream. Just why I want to start out by why I think it's so. Heroic Anthem and go to the top KVK, I think. Thank you. This KVK has 31 kingdoms, guys.
they understand this is no way gonna have a good Diplo, no way anything. This is experience I don't want even part of. And this just highlights how crazy and how much kingdom merger is required. And let me tell you something, these kingdoms, not the worst, with all due respect, I don't try to be worse in a bad way. It's not the smallest kingdoms. There is actually smaller than this. And this is no way, I'm sorry, this is no way they can make Diplo, no way they can get together, there is no way it can be, this is, bro, impossible for me. You know, guys, you put yourself, your leadership. So kingdom merger is required. And the way the game is going right now, I think for the ecosystem of Rise of Kingdom going forward, we need to see that people with 1 and 2 accounts sitting in kingdoms moving into a kingdom where there is maybe 25 of them turn into a C kingdom. This is how we're gonna be able to all bring back all these players back to the seats. Bro, a majority of this kingdom sitting there for sale. It's wrong. Someone benefiting from kingdom that dead. Wrong. I'm telling you, I went to check myself before I speak about it. They are. Majority of the kingdom sitting was one person, and you know the other thing you're getting used is people sitting there making mighty governor for accounts. What is accounts? The account majority also are for what? Are for sale as well. So there is something about these kingdoms. This is just crazy. But forget about all of this because that doesn't really affect me. What affects me is the KVKs. This is what I like to watch, my spectating. And for the sake of the players, we need to see the bigger, the kingdom was 5 player. Bro, there is some kingdom very small. Come in and making a 20 and 30 kingdom. You know, a 30 player kingdom. But your account sitting for sale, getting mighty governor, getting golden heads, getting every event, every commander. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, it's controversial, but it's the truth as well. So we gotta be reasonable as well. You know, and for the majority of the ecosystem of the game, these accounts not really participating in the game. I don't know what they're doing. Let's not even bring Dennis because this is gonna bring controversial. Or even bring Zenith up. Because I can show you screen. Look. Some people want Zenith was 1 million points and 800 points, 800k. It's not normal, bro.
Actually, that low, or like no exactly.
No, I'm not kidding. In position was 1 million.
Sorry, Queen, I'm migrating.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Oh, don't you start. I found out on Pro Kingdoms. Don't you start.
Oops.
So let's go to
on the stream.
Let's go to Luxta here. Luxta, I know you guys were a B seed kingdom until recently. I have an experience in 1029 being a D seed, moving up to a C seed, then B seed, now A seed. What do you think about their proposed migration here? Or excuse me, mergers here?
I think it's such a weird dynamic of like it's basically it's allowing it's at your choice, right? You're not like forced into it. So I think it's good because I mean even recently with our merger, like opportunities of like bringing 2 groups of like-minded and strong basically like-minded strong fighters, like I think that's very, very important, especially for the health of the game. Once like a kingdom somewhat dies or like, you know, maybe half the people kind of stop playing, and then I can only imagine, and especially I'm sure that I'm gonna have to learn and experience this myself since we're in leadership now in a larger kingdom, is having to manage that amount of players. Obviously there could be some issues, right, with like activity and things like that, and people obviously play the game for so many years and maybe quit or for whatever reason. I think it is very important to give opportunities for like-minded people to play together to keep the game alive, as well as to rebuild kingdoms and actually like make it very competitive. I do think that it is a must in some extent to have these kind of offerings, as well as like just maybe a side note that popped in my head as well as like the cost to like migrate like if you were with passports and stuff like that, it's just like kind of ridiculous. Which there's like a balance where you don't want to make it too easy because people are just gonna hop around. But I think things like this help on a larger scale where, shoot, my kingdom's dying. I'm a D seed, and activity is really low. Let me try to at least, enter in KVK, bring my best players, and then maybe you can make something out of it, out of like a bad situation. So I think it's overall good. It's a weird area to like, you basically have to still go ahead.
No, I just wanted to do some small thing, and I want you to continue. It's just there is no option in it, bro. You can't actually volunteer towards it. You will be put in a KVK, and once you're in that KVK, you are boom.
So that's actually correct.
Yes.
There's criteria, but they didn't even tell us the criteria. Is that right?
Not yet. No, and it's supposed to come out this month, by the way.
Let's go. Maybe I should have started with this, and my bad. Let's go through this mail together, right? They're planning to launch their first Kingdom merger stories during the August 18th, 2025 round of Season of Conquest. The merger story will only be available to kingdoms that meet the requirements. Very generic. We don't have specifics. Not all qualifying kingdoms will gain access to the story at the same time. The merger is divided into 3 sections: the exclusive Kingdom merger story, forming Kingdom merger teams, and the official merger. So if your kingdom meets the requirements for merging and has completed at least one Season of Conquest, you will only be able to register for the Kingdom merger story. You don't have a choice. Now, like other stories, if you choose not to participate, it's going to count as a skip. If your kingdom still meets those conditions when registration begins for the next Season of Conquest, you will still only be able to sign up for the merger story. If your kingdom fails to sign up for the Kingdom merger story, it will not enter into by-election. So if you keep skipping and you don't sign up and you still qualify at the end, you're going to be forced into that, is how I interpret that.
Me too.
There is no vote on whether or not you can accept a matchup. There will not be a go down in history event, and I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I think that's MVPs at the end, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the MVPs and speeches.
Okay, thank you. The difficulty of certain chronicles will be reduced. Before the end of Lost Kingdom, all kingdoms in the Kingdom merger story will enter the team up process, divided into 2 stages. Team formation. During this stage, you can create a team and invite other kingdoms, or it can join an existing team. So I think you have a choice as to which teams you can bring in or which other teams that you can go into. Kingdoms in this team will later be merged into a single kingdom. At the end of the team formation stage, if there are kingdoms that have not found a team or do not meet the requirements, the system will automatically adjust the teams. Each team has to have between 3 and 6 kingdoms. Each team must have 200 to 1,500 active governors. The team up process will be followed by a team announcement phase. In this phase, final Kingdom merger teams will be published. After the announcement phase, the kingdoms in each team will officially be merged into new kingdoms. If your kingdom failed to form a valid team by the time of the merger, you will be returned to your home kingdom after the Lost Kingdom closes. If your kingdom still meets the requirements, you can sign up for the next Kingdom merger story.
Okay, so
go for it.
I was just gonna say then, and I was actually gonna make a comment that earlier before realizing it's forced. I was actually gonna say I would not like it if it's forced, because obviously it is, but forcing groups together, like it says it's gonna balance out like the groups. That means literally that some kingdoms just gonna get extra dead weight. like I don't know what the alternative would be. I think mergers in general do support the health of going forward, but also it just feels really bad that, like, let's say if you're a low spend free to play player and you're like, oh cool, I want to go on this merger, like let me try to join a team. What happens if that player is not chosen, or like their team is just not good and then they're not chosen or agreed upon to join someone else? Now they're forced into a random, like the system itself is randomly going to throw you into a random group or like a kingdom, and then boom, when you leave this matchmaking, you're gonna go to home kingdom, and now you're part of a deadweight kingdom or something, right? Like, I don't know, like there's so many variables to this of like, I don't know how. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yep,
like,
yep. After this says too, after the merger, any characters in the new kingdom who meet all of the following requirements will be deleted and removed from the map. City Hall below level 3. So you could still have deadweights that are on the map, period. So all of these requirements must be met for the account to be deleted. City Hall below level 3, not logged in for 360 days. The character not made any in-game purchases. So if I'm City Hall 3 and I haven't logged in for 360 straight days, but I have made an in-game purchase over a year ago, my city's still going to be there?
I mean, you buy Minamoto on your level 3 farm, or like level 2 farm, or your level 1 farm.
You buy a single 99-cent bundle.
Yeah, and then you're just stuck there. So this is like this is weird to me. I don't know. I feel like I talked enough on this. I'm kind of on the fence. Maybe someone else can provide their view.
George? Any thoughts, Horse?
I am in the big time favor of mergers. I think they can also make it so there's only 1,000 kingdoms in the whole game. I don't mind. I think currently we have what, 2,900 kingdoms, which is massive.
All right, so my take on this, there are lots and lots of very, very low DC'd kingdoms. I mean, we're talking kingdoms that have less kill points than myself and Redline put together. We're talking kingdoms that are below 2 billion power. I think a merger is a good thing. The thing that scares me here is I want them to make these requirements public before they launch this, right? So the kingdoms have time to plan accordingly. Say I'm in one of these kingdoms that's going to go into this kingdom merger story, and we've already max skipped. We're going to be forced into a kingdom merger story without any opportunity to either A, migrate out before that KVK starts, or B, recruit players in so that we do not meet the requirements. So I think for kingdoms that are in this merger story, they need to release the requirements as soon as possible so that those kingdoms can plan accordingly. They may not care. Those kingdoms may not care. There may be 5 or 6 players there that are just there to soak up MGEs, soak up gold head events, so that they can ultimately sell their account. But by saying kingdoms that meet the requirements and not releasing those requirements, it leaves a lot of ambiguity. And I hope I'm using that big word correctly. It leaves a lot of questions in a lot of kingdoms' minds. There are some very, very good DC kingdoms out there. I would imagine if they are active, if they are spending, if they are active in KVK, putting up kill points in KVK, participating in KVK, they would not be forced into a merger. I never necessarily agreed with forced mergers, but I think at the same time, this gives you an opportunity to go into a KVK, to fight with other kingdoms in that KVK, show them what you can do, and hopefully team up with a like-minded kingdom in that KVK to ultimately merge with. The hard part here is how does that impact a home kingdom once all those players are in the same home kingdom? You know, it's hard to understand the logistics behind that. Are they going to migrate into the home kingdom? All territories gone. You know, and it's in here somewhere. Once the merger is complete, the new kingdom will use the name and age of the captain kingdom. The kingdom map will be fully reset. So are they going to have to build flags all over again?
Check
This was the
number
question on
5.
the stream. That's crazy.
Check number 5. It answers your question, Lando. It's at the very bottom of the mail.
Alliance flag construction speed will be increased by 200%. If you don't have Alliance resources, how the hell are you going to build the flags?
Yeah, so pretty much it sounds like the entire kingdom map gets reset, and then everyone gets thrown into an alliance because you don't have the cap, and then you have to build.
You have to go through it all again, and how does that impact future KVKs for that kingdom? Right? If they're having to reestablish territory in the home kingdom, and okay, we're done with the merger KVK. We've all merged. How soon will a KVK pop for these guys? They're gonna have to max skip just to get flags built in the home kingdom, and even then, is that enough time?
Brave in chat said a couple of good questions. Is what about credits for flags? What about shells? Like,
Yep.
yeah.
I think my biggest concern with all of this is if you don't have a good team and it reshuffles everybody and you lose that people that you have that equal mindset is, how many civil wars, how many problems is this going to cause of people disagree?
Yeah, are these new kingdoms just going to be a couple of, a handful of dead players merged into dead kingdoms, and you're not really going to solve the issue?
I mean, we could go back to the Rise of Civilization days where people just fought in home kingdom because that's all you could do.
Oh, I remember those days, right? Oh, he's farming on Alliance territory. Go kill his farmers. Right? Or they built territory next to ours. That's an act of war. People look for any excuse to fight. Any excuse.
Yep.
I mean, I think mergers is a good thing overall, but
I think Fire was saying they are a small active kingdom, and the worry is what if they merge with dead people? I mean, dead people with the dead kingdom and inactive people, and that they're gonna have to share the events with people they don't know.
Guys, we're talking about dead kingdoms, like Lambo mentioned. Some of the kingdom we looked at when we opened Heroes Card, it was literally one kingdom is smaller than Lambo's account. Like, it can't be right. These people can be legit.
So, George, if we go to Hero Scrolls, is there a way to search by kingdom power?
If you go to Pro Kingdoms, you can see Kingdom Power and Pro Kingdoms.
I know Hero Scrolls you can specifically look
Only
by
Hero
C
Scrolls, yeah.
and then look from there and see what it looks like.
Yeah, but George is here. I don't necessarily want to promote Hero Scrolls, but if that's the only place we can see it.
It's the only way, unfortunately, today.
That's the concept.
So yeah, Kingdom Power is like C, bro. It's very low, very low. Like we see, like we've seen Lambo. Your account is bigger than them, brother.
And I'm sorry, I heard a donation pop, but since I'm displaying my desktop, it did not alert for whoever donated. Thank you very, very much. Peyton said dark side something, dark side.
Yeah, Pitchton.
Anonymous said, is Mad Mania simping for Solar again? Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, we got to go to seed here. Is that correct?
And then yeah, click on DC. I think would be the best way.
All right, and let's just go to well, let's look at power first of all. So some of these kingdoms, 3903, probably just getting out of their first sock. A lot of these 3900 kingdoms are very low power, but 79 million power in an entire kingdom. Hell, Appo's got more power than that. Right? Mad Mania's got more power than that.
Stop bullying Apple.
And let's scroll down out of these 38, 39 kingdoms. What's the first one we see? 1526. 2 billion power. 516.4 million kill points.
That's amazing.
How is that possible? This is a kingdom, I would say, yeah, definitely they need to merge with somebody. 1605, 2 billion power.
Are we even playing?
619.6 million.
Kingdom is
kill
these
points.
kingdoms are dead, bro. These kingdoms are dead.
So these are kingdoms ripe for a merger. Right? I mean, we're seeing many of these kingdoms in the millions of kill points, not even 1 billion. Here's the first one at 1 billion.
1.1. Here we go.
And even 1.1, really, I mean, seriously.
Oh, that's just troop power as well. So they only have like 5 million troop power, 84,000 kill points.
So searching by KP.
What is the top seed?
I'm sorry, yes, you are correct. I was looking at troop power. KP 86.5k.
That's a new kingdom. That's just born.
That is a new kingdom.
Okay.
1903.
Fair enough.
All right, let's go down a ways then. What were those 1,500 kingdoms at? A lot of these are new kingdoms. Fair point.
Oh,
shit, 2906 is up there.
1305, 13.5 billion kill points. 2 billion power, 13.5 billion kill points. 2047, 1335.
2047.
1630.
Checking game.
I mean, thus far, I have more kill points than every single one of these kingdoms do, up until about here. 5 billion power, 26.8 billion kill points.
Yeah, I'm checking 1630 in game. All the R4, R5 accounts are 50 million to 50 million accounts. And there's 2 or 3 above 80, 90. Yeah. 120 million to 100 million kill points.
So, I mean, clearly something needs to be done. Right, let me switch back to Commander's Table. Because looking at my own kingdom, if we look at rankings, Alliance power, we're at roughly 11.8 billion power with our shells and our farms. Right, I remember when we were at right around 10 billion power and we're still a D-seed kingdom. So a lot of these Solar is simping for Mad Mania and vice versa. Okay. I didn't know this, Solar, but hey.
Apparently there's a lot of things I don't know either.
Mad's a good guy.
Oh, here we go.
A lot of these kingdoms coming out and into their first season of Conquest against the big boys, SOC 5, KVK 5. They are pushing smaller kingdoms that want to remain small up into that AC bracket, up into that BC bracket. There are lots of good C seeds out there. There are lots of good B seeds out there that are getting forced into higher and higher brackets because of all these kingdoms of we'll just call it what it is, deadweight players that are coming into KVK 5. Are they even reading chat? Yes, Pharaoh. I'm sorry. It's hard to type. It's hard to move the screen. That's why Solar is here. She's reading chat. She's taking
Solar's
notes.
looking after the chat. Yeah.
He made the comment about civil wars that we talked about earlier. So that's why I haven't brought it up again. It's just because it's something that we covered.
Oh, something we discussed before. I see.
Yep.
So Pharaoh's the one not paying attention. Not
Yeah,
Solar.
right.
I mean, this is a tough topic, right? I don't think any of the kingdoms that the 5 of us are in are going to be put into a merger situation, but it makes me wonder how these kingdoms are going to react. And like I said, my only issue with this is that they say kingdoms that meet the requirements, but they're not releasing what those requirements are.
So I heard a good suggestion.
Which a mark.
Go for it.
I heard 1029 merging with 2377 as a kingdom merger project, you know.
Oh,
So so we will be selected in the kingdom merger story and then merge.
I don't think you're going to qualify.
Oh no.
Oh, damn.
You'll have to not fight in probably 4 or 5 KVKs and tell them to stop buying bundles to qualify, right?
No, it's easy.
And
They just delete
migrate.
all their troops. That's all you have to do.
Oh, true. And maybe migrate 90% of people. That also.
Hey, George, we tried to get in the same KVK as you so we could be a support kingdom for you. But y'all dodged us. You went to a different KVK.
I was AFK. I would have surely rallied to join with you.
I blame Bad Queen.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, this whole merger thing, I think overall we all feel it's a good thing. But from a logistical standpoint, from a requirement standpoint, that's where we all seem to have questions and concerns.
It's basically potentially a nightmare for logistics.
I mean, something I'd like to think about with this as well is if we lower the amount of kingdoms we have available, that means matchmaking and seeding will get better. But forcing these kingdoms and then causing issues for your general players, we'll just lose a lot more players than we'll gain.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Will matchmaking improve? If we take 2 or 3 of those kingdoms that we just looked at and smash them together into one kingdom, do you really think that's going to encourage them to play in a KVK? Or is that just going to increase their power and then they'll get in a KVK as a support kingdom with a bigger kingdom that they really won't provide much support to?
Oh god.
I'm just speaking from my experience. In the previous kingdom I was at, we were 7.9 billion power, and we were considered high B.
Yeah,
So,
that-
hey,
My
and
suggestion
so
of. That's why I wanted to keep a cap on number of kingdoms, because even if you put those 4D kingdom maps, all the kingdoms into one kingdom, into 4D go into one, the question is, will they suddenly become a fighting kingdom? No, you need the warlords, you need the people who will lead them. So if you keep the cap of kingdoms to 1,000 or a bit random number, of course, 1,000, 1.5k, whatever, there will be enough warlords who can guide the masses, so to say. But 2,800 kingdoms is just too many.
So I'm trying to think, like, how would you put a cap, because there's like new kingdoms being made like very frequently too.
Every day and a half, there's a new kingdom that comes out.
Yeah. That's my only. I'm not sure.
That's true. I mean, every day and a half, the back kingdom, this let's say, the weakest, pops. I'm kidding.
Or
I mean, there's something to that though, no? That maybe the kingdom goes away if the activity gets low enough, and then your account goes into the cloud, and you get a chance to migrate.
Or do you use? I mean, you got KVK 1. Solar wins your wedding with man. You got KVK 1, right? You kind of find out who the big boy in the continent is during KVK 1. You've got KVK 2, where kingdoms of relatively the same age are matched with each other. I believe KVK 3 is similar, right? Except you team up, light and dark. KVK 4, you're doing your first season of Conquest, where kingdoms of relatively the same age. Popo wants sweet whispers from you, Apple. Relatively the same age, doing their first season of Conquest. Would Lilith not know after KVK 4 pretty much which kingdoms are going to survive, which kingdoms are going to thrive? You're introducing all these
kingdoms.
introducing all these new kingdoms into the game, letting all these new kingdoms enter Season of Conquest 5. Why not do KVK 4 as a merger KVK.
I had
You know
an
what's funny?
interesting thought. Oh, you want to go?
I'll just tell you what's funny quickly. Everybody plays the New Kingdom fighting for leadership. Once you go to Season of Conquest, nobody wants to be in leadership. Just a freaking joke. That's me.
I had an interesting thought. I don't know how this logistically would work, but what if instead of all these new kingdoms being spawned and born like each day, like so frequently, like or they could still be spawned, but in order to reduce them sticking around, what if somehow there's a cap to how many new shoot, I'm trying to think, like, how could I word this? Like, the new kingdom spawns in like season 1, and then basically that kingdom basically would dissolve and then merge into like a slightly older kingdom. I know, like, because there's the issue with like the gap between old and new too, that causes and stuff, so maybe that's not a good idea. I'm just trying to think, like, if there's all these brand new kingdoms, it's making the issue still in the long run a problem, because they're just gonna end up dying. So like maybe either dissolving those, so, and then again the account goes into the cloud, they come back and they can like merge into a new kingdom or something. I don't know, never mind. I thought I had something there, but it just sounds worse as I speak it out loud.
Well, I
So-
mean, with the merger right now, they're deleting kingdoms. So if your kingdom's not selected, it's deleted. It's gone.
That's fair, that's fair.
So what if we just, instead of making new kingdoms, we recycle these old numbers, and then we can do mergers later?
Oh, like, yeah, okay. So once a kingdom has like merged, and then if it were to be deleted or not be used, then yeah, then maybe it gets recycled and restarted, and then new accounts can start there.
Which would make it weird for like matchmaking or like numbers and everything, but that could be something better rather than keep getting 3,950 something.
What are we at now?
I think 3903 just
3,100,
opened.
yeah.
We're expecting to be at 4,000 in November.
3904 is the most recent. They literally might have just opened. Let me see.
1 day, 2 hours.
It just opened.
Oh yeah, 1 day, 2 hours ago.
So another one
So
should
we'll
pop
get a new one in like 12 hours.
12 to 14 hours. Yep. I don't know what the solution is here. I think overall mergers is going to be good for the game. It just depends on how
Maybe
it's
not for the
executed.
kingdoms.
And I know Pharaoh got very passionate in here. He said, my kingdom is around 5 billion. Most of us thrive like this. We have rally leads who show up and help, not just effing around claiming MGE. And KVK, they never show up. So bringing in more people will cause rogues of problems. I would sincerely hope that if there are C and DC kingdoms that are active, that are participating in KVK, that are putting up kill points in KVK, that are doing off-season events together, I would sincerely hope that those kingdoms are not impacted by a merger. I firmly believe, though, that kingdoms that are not even able to field a full 30 players in an ARC team, that cannot do alliance events, that are not showing up in KVK, that are not putting up kill points in KVK, yet they continue to grow in power, they continue to absorb Mightiest Governors, they continue to absorb Zenith skins, and they continue to do gold head events. If they're not playing the game and they're not participating in KVKs, those kingdoms need to be dissolved or merged with other kingdoms. My issue is, if those kingdoms are merged with other kingdoms that have that same mentality, is that just going to create a bigger dead kingdom than we already had in the past?
Yeah. That's
Too many
true, though.
variables. Way too many variables right now, I think, and we don't know the requirements to meet the criteria and stuff. So it's hard to say.
So we were just going to discuss this. We weren't coming away with any suggestions, but if I had one suggestion, it would be tell us the requirements. Tell kingdoms the requirements so they can start planning accordingly now.
This is the basics, isn't it? Fair enough. Better than everybody assuming that they are in it.
So our next podcast, we will talk about immigration control and kingdom management. We can discuss these Strife events, including no-shows. George, though, you said you had an important item. If you didn't play round 1, you can't play round 2. You want to touch on that quickly?
Yep. At the moment, it's the case. So I personally did not play the round 1, which means I will not be able to join any team until the end of this event, which means a few months, I believe. I was busy on the first weekend and I didn't know. Nobody knew, actually.
So if I was getting married on round 1 day and on my honeymoon and I couldn't play round 1 and I now want to play with my team or with other people in round 2, I cannot be included in that.
Nope, you cannot.
So it's not like Ark of Osiris or Osiris League where after you get out of the qualifying stages, you can adjust your roster.
The only people who can play are the first 3,200 who were registered in any team. So if you were not part of any team on the first round, you cannot play anymore until the end.
So that's a problem, but that might also be good, right? And just hear me out here. So let's just say the 2377 team with Hope and Lion lost in that first round. Hope and Lion want to play in round 2. They would pretty much have their pick of teams to join then after that. How is that fair for somebody who participated on say Lambo's team if Lambo all of a sudden kicks him from round 2 and brings Hope and Lion in to replace him?
Have a potential solution.
Go for it.
Make this season shorter. So I think the length of it, right, is a common issue. Where I think if you like to your point, Lambo, if you unlock the teams and like all these accounts will abuse and just hop into different teams, like whoever, like for example, whoever's going to be winning, what if Hope, any one of the big players, basically you can just say, hey, I want to spot kick someone out and let me get the winning rewards as well, right? So I think maybe keeping it locked makes sense for balance reasons, and then maybe just focus on not having such a long season.
So
I don't know if it's locked for people who are registered. It's just locked for people who are not in any team.
I see. Okay.
One
So
thing I
basically
think
they
also needs
can
to be-
jump around, but you cannot join from outside.
Well, that would, yeah, I mean, then what I just spoke of is an issue technically, because if people want, like, their words might not
Actually, yes.
good enough, but then I can just be like, oh, my team lost, all right, 1960, clear me a spot, like if I'm friends with someone, and they're like, yeah, sure, and they kick someone out, now that person loses rewards and I get the winning for doing nothing. That sounds hella bad.
So Bad Queen says you can't kick anyone from your team. You can add 5 from... Bad Queen, if you want to jump on my channel and hop in a voice chat, we can drag you down here. Because I know you have more insight into this than I do. You can only add 5 from a losing team. So George, who didn't play at all in round 1, cannot be added, but you can add 5 players from a losing team.
She said she'll hop in.
All right, I'll drag her down whenever I see her.
Real quick, something I do want to mention about this, because I think it's really important. This is too limited to 140 mil plus power, and the rewards are too good to avoid.
I wish I knew
So
about
that's also
the bundle too, but that's a separate separate thing.
Yeah, I mean, had I known about the bundle, hell yeah, I would have signed up. But they didn't make that public until after the teams were locked. So I'm like, okay, well, all right, whatever. Let me go out to dinner instead.
I mean, at least it piqued my interest for next season. If it sticks around like that, then obviously I'll hop on just for the reward for the bundle itself.
And Bad Queen is here. So explain to us, noobs, how this works. And thank you for joining.
On Discord. So like our team for round 1 had 50 players. We cannot kick out any of those players. So even if they didn't play or didn't do what we asked, they're there. You can't kick them out. And then only players from teams that were eliminated from the event are allowed to join the teams that are still in.
And that's limited to 5.
For this next round, yes.
Okay. That makes more sense. So, say Baba lost. Would you take Baba over George? I'm just kidding. We won't
take
go there.
23, but we take 2377 members over anyone. So, yes.
Nice save.
But George is migrating to a Dead Kingdom so he can get Xena skins for 2 million.
I said I was going with it.
Yep.
Oh, so players like George, players like myself, who did not play at all on any team in round 1, we cannot get onto any team for round 2. Player like Apo, whose team lost in round 1, he could potentially join another team for round 2 and take one of those 5 spots.
Not a
Correct.
very nice example, Lambo.
But it is correct.
I'm just using real life examples, my friend. I did not say your team got their asses. I did not say your team got their asses kicked. I did not point out the fact that you were at 82 million power 90 minutes into the match.
Okay, Lambo, enough. Okay, I'm sorry for complaining. Okay, I'm sorry.
Can I just want to address something real quick and just clarify something. When y'all said you wished you joined the event, it wasn't just to join the event for the bundle. You would have participated, correct?
100%. Yeah. I was like gonna play anyways, and I had a few teams reach out to me, and I was like, nah, it's a time commitment and stuff like that. But I was like, I kind of want to play it. I also kind of want to see how it plays out. But I wouldn't. That feels so bad because I know there's complaints about people like not even playing, right? Like basically the match starts and then all of a sudden there's a whole freaking missing team, and now the balance is completely off. So yeah, no, I mean that would just be scummy if you joined and just AFK'd, right?
So okay, so let's any of those players from 1365 who did not show up to play at all, are they allowed to join a team for round 2?
Oh, damn. Yes, they
Yeah.
are. Fuck.
Oh damn,
Oh, sorry.
that's crazy. Apple.
Unless Lilith says they're disqualified or something, but there hasn't been any announcements that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, because
As far as
they didn't show up at
I'm
all.
aware, I think they were caught by surprise in terms of they had hospitals full for migration, and they did not know that they can't play with hospital full.
Yes, they did. There's no way
Oh,
they
they
didn't
did?
know. There's no way they
It's in the
didn't know.
rules. It's in the rules.
And
it's in the
I-
rules.
They probably played Pioneer. You can't have your hospital full.
That's true.
You take deaths.
That is very true. I have no idea. I haven't even read any
And they
rules.
saw the timeline for weeks, so there really is no excuse in my opinion.
Well, doesn't it also say in the rules that you can't like purposely ruin one of the packs?
Probably. It probably also says in the rules that if you don't play the first round, you don't get a play, but I missed it.
No, there are sportsmanship stipulations in the rules, and I know Apo had this discussion earlier
Mm-hmm.
on his channel, right? Supreme Strife, enter rules. Match rules. competition rules, critical issues. Participants are expected to adhere to the spirit of fair competition and display sportsmanlike conduct. Intentionally throwing or fixing a match for any reason will be punished according to the severity of the offense. Punishments include, but are not limited to, deducting rewards earned through prohibited behavior from packs and players, disqualification from the Supreme Strife, stripping of titles, etc. In addition to, if your pack is found not to have displayed... Okay, this just goes into the whole pact or individuals, yada yada. But I would think this would apply, right? Disqualification from the Supreme Strife. If those players who registered with that kingdom with 1365 did not participate in round 1, at a minimum, they should be disqualified from signing up to play round 2.
I would say that would be intentionally throwing, right? So.
I would agree there. And it would be unsportsmanlike. Because you're screwing other teams who may have been able to participate, may have showed up to play, out of those rewards. You are screwing the teams that you may have allied with, although one can dispute if allies really work in this format, but
I don't think they do. I mean, they do in the fact that you could ally and not have to fight people on both sides of you. But it really is just whoever gets the structures and holds them.
Yep.
So, and you can spam 200 flags, so you can't really get to the structure if they just keep backflagging nonstop. It doesn't cost resources for flags, so it's unlimited. You can have a max of 200 at a time.
So I mean, I didn't intend to get into this discussion today, although we had it on here. I think there needs to be some penalty for their no showing. You know, I get why they did it. I get it. I understand. But it goes back to proper planning and managing of a kingdom. Right? You don't sign up for an event if you know you're going to require these players to fill your hospitals to get a migration in. You just don't. The timeline is posted in advance. Everybody should know this stuff in advance.
Yep.
So, okay. All right. Anything else on Supreme Strife? Solar, did anyone have anything in chat?
Nothing really. I mean, it's just mostly the whole, again, the power requirement's a little bit ridiculous. And then obviously not showing up is just not a problem. It's a problem. I mean,
yeah, in our first podcast, we kind of discussed some ideas and suggestions for creating a gold tier and a silver tier. You know, maybe reduce the number of deads that you get in a silver tier, limiting the power for a silver tier between X and Y power. You know, much like they do Ark of Osiris, because this is definitely excluding a large number of players from participating in what looks like is potentially a fun 2 to 4 hours. And that's not how... Go ahead.
You also have to buy the bundle to be competitive. That's another big issue.
Yeah, so do a spender version, do a free-to-play version, maybe. With, of course, it's going to be, you know, lesser rewards for the free-to-play or low spender, silver league, whatever you call it. But that could be done. That we suggested that as well, Car. We suggested a partially balanced game mode where people bring in their commanders, their equipment, their armaments, but get a set number of troops. Or a fully balanced game mode like a practice arc match where you can do fully balanced. Everyone gets everything the same. So those were all ideas that were presented to the development team 2 weeks ago. But as it stands now, a lot of these events we're talking about, Supreme Strife, Alliance Mobilization, you know, even Grand Prix to a point, right? They favor the biggest of spenders in the game. I get it. That's what keeps the lights on at Lilith. I understand that. But for this game to thrive moving forward, it's my sincere opinion that they need to start involving the masses in some of these events, and rather than just the big players. But again, that's my opinion. So I did want to
Also might be the,
go for it.
sorry, I just want to dig on that. It might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but it's our free-to-play and low spenders that keep this game going with the activity and the playing than anyone else.
Yeah, Bob said
It's not
people
controversial. It's kind of right.
people bet on those teams. Everyone who bet on 1365, I'm so sorry. You should get those back. You should get those bets back.
Oh, and that's also like actual gems and money. Technically.
Yep. You spend gems to buy those bets, and then the team you bet on, the team you have faith in, doesn't even show up. So we are getting on 3 hours here, which is much longer than we intended. It has been a great conversation thus far, but I just wanted to give Luxta like 5 minutes here, because in the process of the last 3 days, his kingdom 3303 has increased to, what is it now? 16 billion power and 1.2 trillion kill points.
Yeah, we're pushing 18 billion power, 1.25 trillion kill points.
So for those of you that don't know, 1846, legendary kingdom in this game, decided that they had had enough. I don't know their exact, I could bring up the Discord message, but they decided that it was time to move on. And many of them have migrated to Kingdom 3303, which is where Luxta plays. So just, I don't know how much information you can give, how much information you want to give. You know, I hope this is truly, I have mixed emotions, right? I hope it's a success for you guys, but at the same time, I hope it's an epic failure so that you migrate to 1029. No,
Of course.
All seriousness, you know, I've said for months now, ever since we faced you in a KVK, that if I was ever to leave 1029, 3303 would be my first choice, just because of the players there. But you know, we can see 1846 players here now, and how has that gone? I mean, does it seem to be working out thus far?
Yeah, actually, obviously, as you can expect with insanely large migration, like this is not just like a couple people. This was like, I know initially, like, I can't speak on a lot of details, but I know initially it was like, they were like, okay, maybe about 40 people coming, but it's definitely a lot more than 40. And the thing too is, on top of that, we were recruiting some pretty large accounts, like very strong players. So all I can say is nothing but positive. I have very high confidence in this working out, because even just interacting with their leadership, you know, on trying to coordinate all this, everyone's been absolutely phenomenal. You know, obviously as well, understanding that there could be and probably will be hiccups here and there, and how to handle these. You know, we got to approach everything with caution, because it's pretty sensitive with people settling in and stuff like that. But we've had very minimal issues. Honestly, we've had like, it's actually kind of crazy how smooth it's gone so far. I don't want to jinx myself or jinx us, but yeah, as you can imagine, it's a huge change, a huge shift for 3303. And you know, we definitely wanted to emphasize, like even before, like you mentioned, when we were like C seed and going into B seed, you know, we were always kind of lean and mean, always super strong. Like we had very good fighters, and we were very efficient about cleaning out our dead weight and limiting our, you know, useless City Hall 25 farms. Like we were very limited on actually our farm fillers. And so this opportunity kind of brings together a very solid like project, is how I kind of viewed it. Because for us, for 3303, it's a good project because we were very lean, very strong, very condensed. And then on top of that, like our leadership is, I would say we're pretty blessed with our leadership, since we're international kingdom. We have leaders that can help communicate between all the different languages, and additional, the few ones that we were missing, for example, in from this merger, basically like they're coming over. So like there's like French speakers and Italian speakers, and it's just like it's kind of mind blowing how awesome this leadership group is going to be. So I have nothing but high hopes, and I have high confidence that this is going to be a wild next KVK and future KVKs for us. So there'll be some settling period, I would say. But I can also speak right now, and it is obviously honeymoon phase and stuff like that, but our forts are absolutely insane. Like our activity is very, very high. As you can imagine, with a new merger, everyone's like high spirits. But I mean, it's nothing but positive and good vibes at this point. So very, very excited for the future.
Yeah, and I mean, it just kind of brings us to, you know, with 1960 kind of disbanding as well recently, it brings us to the question, where does this game sit now? You know, I mean, we have very few kingdoms out there that can fully match up with a 1093 or 2377. You know, there are other kingdoms you can maybe throw in that conversation that might or might not be able to compete. You know, 1606 and what is it, 3535? Apple, you know these kingdoms more than I do, but I mean, really, two of these bigger kingdoms, and 1846 wasn't a huge Imperium kingdom in the last couple of KVKs.
OG.
Right? They had
Just OG.
Yeah, they were just one of the originals, one of the bigger kingdoms
Exactly.
back in the day. But what does this mean for the state of the game? I mean, we see more and more of these big kingdoms, these well-known kingdoms disbanding. Is it just because of a failure to manage their players properly, a failure to recruit the right people? Why is it happening? Leadership getting burned out?
I mean, every legacy eventually ends, right? So I think it's a combination of burnout, you know, playing at such a high level, very, very demanding, and especially for leadership, it's such an unforgiving role. And, you know, there's times before where I'm not even afraid to admit is like, you get a lot of issues that pop up, and then there's a lot of the bad is very easy to see, but then the good sometimes is very hard to acknowledge. So it's definitely in leadership, it's just very rough sometimes, right? But I think as long as like you have, especially I have, for myself speaking, I feel like I have the mentality to push. I feel like bad boy. I feel like all of our leadership right now, especially, you know, we're high spirits. We have the mental fortitude built up. And I mean, being realistic, in 5 years, maybe 4 years, like we have no idea what the future holds, but there could be a point of where that happens, right? For sure, where you know, we end up getting burnout and stuff like that. But I think there's ways to go around that, maybe swapping around leadership or bringing in new leadership, things like that these kingdoms could do. But I will say that 1960 had such a crazy legendary run, and obviously at that high level, I can understand their burnout. So I wish nothing but the best for them. And I honestly think that it's kind of par for the course as like the natural evolution, like in the age of the game kind of, or the game just ages on, right?
It does, and with every good kingdom, the end must come. You know, I hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. For our friends here from 2377, you know, I think you guys manage your kingdom very, very well. Not to say 1846 didn't, but I think we all know. Go ahead.
With what he was saying, like, leadership's really hard, and there's definitely a difference from just a normal like mid AC to Imperium, like being leadership. So I would say burnout is probably a really big issue. Would be why I would think like leadership just gets tired and no one wants to step up, or I should say less people want to step up in these bigger, more demanding kingdoms.
Yeah, I think it's easier to like just mindlessly like just hop on, do your thing, and get off. Like that sounds like a vacation. You know what I mean? Once you get into leadership, it's crazy. But I think it's honestly what a lot of people go through, and so yeah, burnout is for sure real.
Why do I have an unknown error code when I'm trying to buy a friggin' bundle?
Because you're buying a Siege Commander.
Yeah, haram.
Oh, no.
I will
Yeah,
say,
man, it's I don't know. You said something very controversial, Lambo, on the stream yesterday. You said what? I have about two KVKs and me left.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point I've at. I've played this game for 7 years, right? I've done everything there is to do in this game. Played in Imperium Kingdoms, played in Low Sea Kingdoms, won KVKs in both, won Osiris League, won the Grand Prix Championship they had back in Season 3. You know, I play this game now because of the community here and the people, brothers and sisters that I have in 1029. But it's getting to a point where many of the things that they are doing, these pay-to-win events, you know, if I want to keep my account at a level where I expect my account to be at, these are events that I can't skip. And I don't want to give up 4 hours every single Saturday for 2 months straight or whatever it is to do those. Right? Ark of Osiris, okay, fine. It's an hour every 2 weeks. Osiris League, okay, fine. It's an hour every week for a period of time. But the rate at which they are releasing commanders and the rate at which they intend to drop new armaments, new formations in the future, it's not sustainable for even a player like myself. And it has gone in a direction that I feel is more geared towards the top 1% of the players in this game rather than the lower spenders and the free-to-play players. And if those low spenders, free-to-play players go away, or they just all start piloting for Krakens, we're going to be down to, what, 30 kingdoms in no time. You know, Nugget and I had this same conversation yesterday as well. He's getting burned out, and he's feeling pretty much the same. You know, so I honestly, I don't know how long I have left in this game, and that's part of the reason I want to do this podcast, to kind of leave a little legacy behind, you know, if I do decide to leave this game in 1 or 2 KVKs. You know, nothing's written in stone. You know, we have a great leadership team here in 1029. At any given point in time, you know, there are a good 30 players here that I would not hesitate to put in that R4 position. There are at least 10 players here who I would not hesitate to pass R5 to. You know, and that's how we built this kingdom, with strong players, with people who can step up and lead at a moment's notice, so that all the work is not shared by 1 or 2 or 3 people. But it's draining just sitting in front of a computer for 16 hours a day, whether it's my work computer that I'm on for 10 hours a day, and then this computer that I do my gaming on. So who knows what the future holds, but you know, I see Forza very, very happy outside of the game, and I'm kind of scratching my head going, God, that sounds like fun.
it's also hard
But you
that
know,
this
bro,
game is...
I just want to say something. You go ahead, so.
Oh, all I just want to say is this game tells you when you need to play, not you decide when you want to play.
It's a job. It's a job. So, you
The
know,
way I say is, yeah, once he, even if you like, yeah, but I fully understand. Because you see that on the stream yesterday, bro, it didn't leave my ears, you know. I've been thinking about it for a long time. It got repeated in my ears so many times since yesterday's stream. That's why I had to ask you. Because it's been on my mind for so long since you see that.
well, I mean, you know, again, nothing's written in stone. I hope none of the 1029 players start looking for a new kingdom, right? I'm here till I'm not. And I will let 1029, I will let
know why.
I will let 1029 know first before I announce anything anywhere. That's the least I can do. But I've got at least 1 or 2 KVKs left in me. for sure. We'll see what happens after that. You know, I mean, you guys have seen it. Anyone who watches me has seen it. I'm down to, maybe 2 or 3 streams a week. Just because the passion isn't there, the fire isn't there in my belly anymore. It's
That's fair enough, man.
Even spending at my level, right? I mean, I've got 1,941 spin tickets saved up for the next wheel. It's very, very hard to keep up with commanders. Very hard. And if you're a rally or a garrison lead and you find it hard to keep up with commanders as they come out, you're gonna struggle in KVKs. And I don't feel like I'm doing a credit to my kingdom then if I'm at that point.
Well, pharmacy, she's near the inn too. Wow.
They need to do.
I don't want to be
Go ahead.
negative, but it's generally very common feeling around Oaks, guys. It's just because it's summer and it's shiny outside.
It is.
And every oak
Look at Forza, bro. He's on TikTok full time.
I mean, for at least a year now, I haven't played this game because I get intense satisfaction out of it. I play this game for the people in the kingdom and the community here, and the people that watch my streams more so than I play for myself anymore. But at the end of the day, and I say this all the time on my streams, right? Life is short. If you're not having fun doing something, don't do it.
100%.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Hell yeah.
So nothing's written in stone. The sad part is because I kill my account every single KVK, I don't have speed ups. I don't have resources. Well, I have resources, but I don't have speed ups to sell my account for a good price. I don't have speed ups to compete for Zenith. So even if I was to sell this account, right, I wouldn't get a fantastic price. Now, today I did dismantle my entire 3rd infantry set.
What?
What?
And then went to, I have all level 5s on Lucci now.
What the fuck?
I wasn't ever using a 3rd infantry march. It was the Ragnar Scipio. So, yeah.
And how many sets do you have now? 6 or 7 still?
So we've got ZL, which is all level 5 except the KVK weapon, which is at 3. We've got Lucci, all level 5 except the accessories. HQ, working on him next. Philip, fully procced, fully iconic. Well, the horn's not procced. Ashburnapal, fully procced, fully iconic. This is my 3rd cavalry march, right? Needs some work, but I don't run 3 cavs very often. QSH is all level 5 except for the accessories. Arthur, working on Arthur. I'm not a huge cavalry player. And then BQ. So we've got what?
How do you feel about your account now, Horse?
9 sets? How do I feel about my account?
I was
Or
asking.
Horse's account?
Horse? Yeah.
I'm always saying that I don't like my account enough. Then there's some other whales who just prove me why I should like my account even more.
Why you like your account more, or why you don't like your account?
I don't. I mean,
Why
I
we
like
don't?
it. I always complain. It's never enough.
If you want, Horse, I can share about my account, make you feel better.
Buddy, but so you be quiet.
Actually, yes.
Don't
do
listen
that.
to her.
Do that. Oh, she's lying.
Don't listen to that. He's lying.
I am the one-trick pony, and that's all I will ever be.
I
I
hope
mean,
it's
when you
not
see
Tony.
like when you see 7
Oh, there's
sets
new
of
events.
AOVs, so it's
Protect the supplies. Oh my lord. And it's not the 7k gems. We're all wrong. Happy birthday, guys.
Well, we expected it to be the highest donation, I thought, because we got 7K last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. so no 7k gems.
You're right, Popo. I have been slacking. I have not been buying nearly as many bundles as I normally do. You know, I get that daily bundle, and there we go. I'll spend in KVK, but outside of KVK, it's maybe 1/5 of what I used to spend. Apple can tell you. He's not
Yeah.
seeing me buying gold chests all the time anymore. So,
It's part of the journey, isn't it?
all right. Anyone have anything else before we wrap up for the week?
I'm good. I'm gonna go and edit shorts. Keep everybody entertained.
Thank you all once again, Solar. Thank you for being the what am I calling it now? The chat moderation.
Tech coordinator.
Chat coordinator. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Bad Queen, for jumping on at a moment's notice. Appreciate you as always. And your insights are always good.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we are going to call it here. Again, on my Discord, we have a section now for podcast ideas and feedback. You can post directly in there. There's a Discord link in the description. Thank you guys for all the donations today. Thank you for the views, the chat participation, yada, yada, yada. Love you all. Not in a gay way.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
Where's the button?
Thank you, buddy.
There it is.
Yeah, guys.